Who?
They're industrial revolutionists.
Oh.
Matthew Bolton, James Watt, who you should know, to be honest, if you ever did science, and William Murdoch.
Okay, that stream is up. Although YouTube is currently telling me I have 2.
Watts are made out of not that that's what electrical watts are made out of. They're made out of James Watts. Yeah. Well, he's the one you'd know. The other 2 you wouldn't, because so what did Bolton do?
I'm just checking my YouTube channel. Oh golly, my internet has made a mess of this. Okay, let's talk to Donald, get back on this train.
William Murdoch with gaslighting.
Let's go.
We love industrialists in Birmingham, which is not surprising.
Hey,
We're an industrial town.
you sure we haven't met before?
Positive. Why do you ask?
I don't know.
I suppose the one good thing about 3-5 out over 2 days is it actually adds a logic to this.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, last year! A guy with exactly your face but different hair and a weird black coat.
Right. See ya.
Although, is this the real Twilight Town or the digital one? It's the real one, right? It's got to be the real
I
one.
think so. This is the real one.
The digital
Yeah.
one has a train I don't like.
Yes, yes it does.
I was
Cursed
usually,
train.
for what I can remember, I was trying to get somewhere really, really fast, and the train just wouldn't show up. So I spent 5 minutes standing there. Come on.
In a way, reflecting what the real National Rail and other train services are like. Well, sorry about the train. The Jensen's Tower has been delayed for there are leaves on the track.
Oh, that's why we have a hard on for Bolton. He's actually from here. We also have a hard on for the pre-Raphaelites. No, seriously, we have an entire gallery in our art gallery just dedicated to them because this is where they were. They were focused on Birmingham, which is why it's really annoying when Florence and the Machine was just the biggest thing. Cosmo was like, oh, you should go see this pre-Raphaelite exhibition in London, and I'm like, why don't you go? Or if you don't like wasting your time hanging around a bunch of trend followers, you could just go to Birmingham where they have this shit all of the time. By the end of going through the Birmingham Museum and Art Gallery, you are so tired of Jane Burton's face that you're willing to strangle someone, preferably Dante Gabriel Rossetti.
In the fans, the only historical figure we cared about was Arkazula, the Swamp King.
Let's go. Go where?
Legends say he reigned for 10,000
I don't know if you're
years.
making things up.
I would never joke about Arkazula, the Swamp King.
Yes, it's true.
I think there are very few things you wouldn't joke about.
But there is some place I want to go. And someone I want to see.
Namine, you make no fucking sense as a person.
So, you think you might let us go? I know you're here to get rid of us, but...
Wait, is your stream up again?
Wants
Because
to
I'm
get rid
just
of
getting
me?
blue screen here.
Go.
He's had to start a new one. So if you go to subscriptions, it will show up.
Yeah, if you go over to my channel over subscriptions, the new one will show up.
You helped us.
Oh, there it is. Found it.
Yeah,
You don't have to tell me
I'll have to
twice.
delete the old one. I am to the old stream what Diz is to Namine. The thing like, it has served its purpose.
Thank you.
Dispose of it, Riku.
Doug,
I don't understand why they didn't.
Sorry.
Sorry?
Okay.
You first.
Okay, I'll go first only because mine's more relevant. Why didn't they just change Riku's name so they could have had Riku from Final Fantasy X on Destiny Islands instead of Selphie from Final Fantasy VIII?
I don't know. Presumably because they wanted that whole land, sky, and sea thing.
There were other land names.
You're another land name.
They could have called him Adam or something.
Welcome
You're
to
another
Reese.
land name.
It's wonderful here.
Okay, anyway, you go now. Tell her about Wolfie.
Yeah, tell me about Wolfie.
How did we get onto the subject of Wolfie?
Out of nowhere.
I asked. I asked. I want to know about him.
He has a delicate wolf face. He has many limbs. Wolfie is the main character of Epic Fail, which is set in the same universe as Black Sky.
And host.
And the host, yes. He's a marine doctor, as in a doctor in the Marines, not a doctor who works on sea
You
life.
did make it sound like he was a marine biologist then.
No, he is a doctor in the Marines, who is attached to a superhero group in the North of Britain. And
The Northwest.
Northwest, yes. And
It's actually important that you know this.
he is very snuggly. The snuggliest. Reese, how would you describe his personality?
Why, with all those heartless at her side, my dear friend Maleficent is gonna conquer everything.
A wolf in sheep's clothing.
And since I got me a debt to pay, I'm going round to a bunch of different worlds and building
I mean,
an army
yeah, he's a bit
of
doggo, so he's a bit snuggly, but he mostly seems more snuggly than he really is. There's a keen edge under all that fluff. Sorry, floof.
You ought to find something nicer to do. Oh, says who?
What's the plot in Epic Fail?
Epic Fail, it's more... Compared to Black Sky, it's more broken up into smaller stories. But
It's more like a comic book series.
Yeah, the overarching plotline is that some dude has come from the future, and he is like, hi, they're like, hi, and he is like, okay, I have an evil plan involving gathering some cool stones. Many people will die. And we're like, that's not that cool. I've heard cooler plans. So things go on with that, and he has a personal connection to them.
Yeah, he wants to bone Jason.
He has other personal connections from that.
But that is like a really important one.
Yes, he does.
So you're the ones that did it.
Well, we might have had something to do with it.
Poor Jason. Wolfie and Dimitro also want to bone him. And Damien, who was his boyfriend at the beginning of all this.
Everyone
He's the
loves
most popular boy
Jason.
in school.
Oh, it's more like the city bicycle. Oh, Dan!
That's so mean.
It's really mean.
Poor Jason, what did he do to deserve this? See, there's a couple of points of crossover between Black Sky and
And I do mean nobody messes with the mighty Pete.
Epic Fail and the host. And one of those is... Yeah, I got there in the end, before you did. One of those is Leonard, the teacher. He's good friends with Jason.
Of course, he's probably a heartless by now.
And in the host, they have a team member called Galahad, who is, yes, that Galahad. And he's also a part-time member of the Society, the superhero team in the Epic Fail.
Wow, sounds powerful.
I'm pretty sure Leonard's also acquainted with the Brigadier, Wolfie's commanding officer.
Yeah, because Leonard's a mutant and his thing is languages. Like Jason's thing is arm blades. Jason is like Wolverine, only with less metal and more logic. Oh, and
Is
he
he
also
nice
doesn't
or
have
not?
super senses.
Wolfie does though. Together they make a whole Wolverine.
Between them, they make the one Wolverine minus the metal.
Minus the metal plus a lot of fire, because Wolfie's powers are fire-based.
Yeah, that's true. One of the points of contention in the relationship, when even just them knowing each other essentially, is that Jason, because he has incredibly dense bones, which allows him to like fall really far and not get severely injured, and he can use his bones as weapons without them breaking so easily. He's so incredibly heavy that most people can't pick him up. So when Wolfie wants to snuggle him, he can't do what he does to say Rose and just pick him up and cuddle him like a bear, because he's just so heavy. He literally can't lift him, and it bothers him so much.
Aww.
Here's a
Also, mean
stupid
Jason
wolf.
either has to go in lifts entirely by himself or take the stairs.
Oh, actually, that's a point. Another point of connection between Black Sky and Epic Foe is that Co and Rose, the Society's tech support, they know each other through internet forums. They're both part of various hacker communities.
And Damien, the Society's rich guy, he has done business dealings in the past with Gecko, who is a team member of the Host.
Yeah. Oh, shared universe. Afoot.
You know, he's a big fan of Galahad, though, isn't he?
Yeah, you guys pretty fond of Galahad.
Everyone. My headcanon is that Japan fucking loves Galahad because he's so knightly. They're like, oh, screw America, come live over here. And he's like, ah, you're right.
Regrettably, it's pretty likely that, like, in the Black Sky Epic Foe universe, Type Moon has produced a game in which Galahad is a busty 16-year-old Japanese girl. I'm sorry, that's just how realism demands that things be.
You know, I think he'd put up with that, but if they did the same thing to Boudica, he would just go and, like, be very, very angry at somebody. Like, he'd march into their offices and demand an apology.
You know, I didn't notice the guy in blue in Fate, whatever it's called. I didn't notice. I didn't notice his name. I think you said it, but I was too busy looking at his clothes.
Yeah, my favourite thing is about Fake Stellar is that they've actually surprisingly managed to pronounce his name correctly. Or at least pretty close to right, because looking at that, most people wouldn't get it right because it's a Celtic name and it's trying to use the bloody goddamn Latin alphabet.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we have also made him dress up like a figure skater.
I was thinking Tron.
Have you seen the king?
Ooh.
Yeah, Tron.
Yeah.
A very, 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 very
Yes, the king has
sexy Tron.
busy.
Sexualized Tron. Sexualized does not equal sexy.
That's what I was looking for, but it just.
Yeah,
The word you're looking
I
for,
know.
it's
Just looking at his ass just made your brain stop working.
Be well prepared.
I mean, how can you do that to a man's ass?
We have to go on another
Once he
quest?
was there, another she was in
I was
the
looking
other
for
side
I
of
think
Europe.
he was meant to be like standing.
so we could go back to the
I
island.
think he's actually standing with his hips cocked, but they fucked it up.
However,
So his ass, his ass
journey
looks like his hips are cocked, but his hips don't.
The crotch area is actually worse when we see him in front, because I was looking at it really intently.
whether or not
and
the island
I was just, where is his balls? Where is his cock?
and the king
There's lighting there and shade there, but it's also
Maybe
over there.
maybe he's wearing a cup. A very tight cup.
Yeah, but you still be able to see where it starts and ends, and it didn't.
He looks like he looks like a lot of American comic book superheroes, where like all the women have these really like weird boobs, but the men like have nothing there at all, and you're like, it's like, what part of this was meant to be sexualization for the benefit of women?
Unfortunately, the worst of bastardizations of historical figures that I've seen in the game so far is coming up in the next part. It really made me quite angry, that one.
Wait, is that Jack the Ripper?
No, Jack the Ripper isn't in this game, thank God.
Oh, thank God.
Who is it?
I don't
Tell
think I
me.
could cope.
Once you have finished, you will speak.
If Jack the Ripper was in this game, I would stop playing.
Okay, who is it? Who is it? Inquiring minds demand to know.
Yes.
It's Elizabeth
still watch.
Bathory.
Oh God. Oh God.
But
Okay,
Elizabeth
I know
Bathory-
who she is.
Yeah, Countess Elizabeth Bathory, a noble woman who, in life, was a serial killer of young women who then bathed in their blood.
Oh no, her. Oh
Yeah.
shit, I know her. Yeah. Oh my. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, she's a tsundere idol who loves to sing. And she puts on a pop concert in the middle of battle. And Nero's like, one day we will hold a concert together, Elizabeth. And she's like, no we cannot, for you are my song rival. It's...
You know, I could totally go for shipping Elizabeth Bathory and Nero in a proper historical figures thing. Maybe in the Tudor Nobunaga universe. How does that sound?
To the Nobunaga universe.
About that.
Oh my God, I haven't talked about that in ages.
She still has descendants.
And darkness
She still has descendants, and one of them has actually gone to the town she lived in and apologized to the people living there because of what she did.
difficult to eliminate.
Honestly, Kinoko Nasu should also go to that town and apologise to the people living there. It's like, I am very sorry, I made the woman who murdered many of your ancestors into a cutesy idol.
Well, no, she killed maidens, didn't she? So they wouldn't be ancestors.
Family members then, yeah.
Ancestors, relatives.
One such as you, Donald, yields to the dark.
So I'm not clear on why he summoned a second Donald and then turned it into a Heartless.
But you know this.
Demonstrative presentation.
The Heartless are always
That's what I thought it
lurking
was.
and ever seeking to capture new hearts. Never let your guard down.
Donald, why are you smiling?
Now then,
Because he likes the look of himself. I mean, he does
You know what?
date a duck who basically looks exactly like him, just with a bow.
if someone with a strong heart,
That is correct.
be they evil or good,
yeah,
becomes
yeah.
a Heartless.
For that matter, Minnie
I
looks
like
exactly like
Daisy.
Mickey.
They leave behind
Yeah, I mean, I kind of ship
to
Daisy
act
and
with a
Mickey.
will of its own.
I'm not here
I mean, on the
for...
plus side, at least Goofy's girlfriend doesn't look exactly like him. She just looks a terrifingly large amount like him, despite the fact she's a cow.
Body fades from existence, for you see,
The cow?
nobody
Yeah, his girlfriend's a cow.
truly exists at all.
Oh, what's her name?
Nobodies may seem to have feelings, but this
I
is
can't
a
remember.
ruse. They only
Don't say it's
pretend
Clobella.
to have hearts.
I'm pretty sure it isn't, to be fair.
Good.
Deceived.
Nobodies.
Because I remember there is a character who is a cow, and she has a bell, I think.
Now then, the being
She's just so
you see
amused as soon
before
as I,
you is known as a dusk. They are the most
She'll
common
show up in
form
this
of
game
the
when they go to Timeless River, I think.
but there are
yeah, she has a
some
brief
larger,
appearance.
Some with frightening and unique powers. Be vigilant.
The Timeless River, is that the one from the
On
first
your
Mickey
journey, you
film?
will meet an alarming
One where he's
number
steering a
of
boat?
dust.
Yeah,
They will all attempt to do
Steamboat
you
Willie.
harm.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Still,
I'm
they
not very
are
much a
nothing
Disney
but empty
person, so I
shells
just
destined to
remember.
return to
I'm not
things.
either. I'm not to such an extent that people go, oh, we need an X Disney princess or we need a Y Disney princess, and I'm just like, you know, there are other companies who could be using your financial support who could give you exactly what you want, right?
They would also
The
be able to do
beings
it
you
better.
see
Better.
before you
Yeah.
now
Yeah, I mean, you're just what the
These
fuck?
powerful nobodies have
You
formed
treat
a
Disney
group
like
called
it's the goddamn
Organization
Catholic
13.
Church and it's
It commands the lesser
1492.
nobodies.
Organization 13.
While heartless act on instinct, nobodies function in a higher manner. They can think and plan.
Ah, Jens is still telling us about nobodies.
Goal. What that goal is.
I still feel like games should have a "Have you played this game before?" option, which lets you skip through shit like this.
A lot of games should have that feature.
And journeyed forth to fight.
Yeah, have you played this game before option, and if you select it, you get what amounts to Solus's
version.
speech. Yeah, when you say you're not interested. Fine, in short, nobodies are.
To the riddle of nobodies and Organization 13.
Then I guess we better go find the king first.
What could he be?
Well, we won't know till we look.
I like that about
Yeah,
Dragon
and the
Age.
king must know where Riku is, because the two of them were together in the realm of
The fact
darkness
that you can
when
just
we
tell
closed the
Solus to
door.
shut up and get to the point.
After defeating Ganon.
So,
If you didn't get on with him very
before
well.
you go, you will need more suitable traveling clothes.
I don't think I've
Those
actually
look a
ever
bit
seen
too
that.
small for you.
No, I mean, I think you have to have punched him to get it.
They'll create for you appropriate.
You have to be consistently annoyed by him, I think.
Or Sora, you
I should make a character who's just constantly stuck.
I guess.
No! Don't be mean to the wolf. Welsh.
A Welsh
Well,
wolf.
if I said wolf guy, then Wolfie would complain, so it's Welsh wolf.
Yeah, somewhere he would just be leaning out from behind the pillar, being like, no.
You're Northern Irish wolf, you're Ulster wolf. Wolfie.
Oh wait, shit, we could go to the world map from that save point. What am I doing?
Oh god, that would be a really good story for Jenny to tell them. Don't know why she would. Did you know that the like traditional symbol of Northern Ireland or Ulster is actually a red hand?
I did.
Would you like to? No, I was specifically asking the foreigner. Would you like to know why?
Sure.
Because there are these guys, and they were sailing to. I don't remember why they were sailing to Ireland, but they were, and they had this deal that whoever hit land first, whoever touched land first, got to have it. And one guy was really far ahead, and the other one was like, "Shit, I can't catch up." So he cut his own hand off and threw it. And it hit land first, so he got to have it.
I like that story. She should absolutely tell it.
That's a very Irish story.
Maybe it's a kind of, well, I heard, well, this guy is telling me a weird story, so here's my own.
She might tell it when she's telling the story of the Giant's Causeway.
Oh.
Because Morning's Outlook looks more or less exactly like the Giant's Causeway. Of course, she'll also be very boring and tell them exactly how it was formed, and they're like, oh, so it's just lava. And she'll be like, yeah, basically, just lava. That's kind of taking the mystique out of it. And she's like, what are you talking about? This is millions of years of geography, like geology. This is fascinating. And he's like, and Varric's like, you have a very odd idea of fascinating. Oh, no, yes, you prefer the story where it was built by a giant who chickened out of a fight and pretended to be his own son in order to get the other giant to run off. And Varric would be like, yes, I would prefer that story. Tell me that story now.
I don't think I've ever heard that part of it.
Well, there's a giant in Irish mythology, and this is where it gets a bit confusing, because there's also just a guy in Irish mythology called Finn McCool.
Really?
So cool.
Finn McCool?
Finn McCool? No, genuinely, that's one of the anglicizations of this guy's name.
Oh.
So there's two versions of him. There's the giant version who's getting the story of the Giant's Causeway that I'm about to tell you, and then there's the other version who's like human, Lord of the Fenians, and he's kind of like, he's a once and future kind of guy, a bit like King Arthur, but not really a king.
And also much cooler, as you can tell from his name.
No, that just means he's son of the cool. See, his dad was the Fonz, so... Anyway, this version of Finn McCool is a giant, right? And there was this other giant in Scotland. And he was like, I want to fight this guy. So he built the causeway out of bits of rock. And it built all the way to Scotland, because there's actually a matching kind of geographical feature on the other side of the Irish Sea. But the guy who was going to fight was fucking massive! Huge! Like, way bigger than Finn McCool, and Finn McCool was like, shit, I can't take him on. So he goddamn legged it back to Ireland, and he got his wife, Una, to put him in a crib and pretend he was a baby. So when the other guy came round to have the old bust up, he saw Finn McCool. Una said this was her son, and he was like, oh, fuck, if that's the son, I don't want to see the dad. And he legged it back to Scotland, destroying the middle of the causeway on the way back. Which is why there's nothing in the middle anymore.
Oh. Did the other giant have a name?
Yes, he did. I just can't remember what it is off the top of my head. Let me look. Giants. I mean, there's a version of the story where Finn just legs it.
Can't believe Square modelled like all these different shades of Sora's outfits, which are never going to get used again.
Hold on. Are you certain? Blue.
Ben and Donna.
I kind of like the green.
The green is the nicest, I think.
So the one that I don't really understand about this is why Fauna is getting involved in the first place. This was never her fight.
All right then. Together now, dears.
She should just be like, okay, stop it. Ladies, please. Because the whole make it pink, make it blue is just Flora and Merryweather. Fauna never gets involved. So her being involved in this argument, it doesn't make any sense to me. Oh, is that awfully pedantic for a video game based on Final Fantasy characters and Disney licenses?
That Pete really is wearing his clothes.
Take the orb, dear.
Yeah. Well, we're dressed basically exactly the same.
They are.
And you see, the thing is, the other thing about Fauna getting involved is that this outfit has a lot of red and a lot of blue, but it has absolutely no green in it. So why is she in this argument? Why didn't this argument just between Flora and Merryweather, and then Fauna's like, no, I'm going to decide what it looks like.
Also, Sora has like a red form, and he later gets a blue form. He never gets a green form, though.
Other powers, but you'll have to discover what they are as you continue on your journey.
There are myriad layers upon layers of reasons why Fauna getting involved in this argument makes no goddamn sense.
There's something else for you.
Maybe she just wants to be included. Maybe she's lonely. Stupid prime colors. Always getting the biggest picture.
Well, she is a prime colour. These are the prime colours of light.
Ah,
that is true.
Yeah, it is, because yellow is actually a secondary colour in light, a combination of green and red. That's why the ink colours in a printer are cyan, magenta and yellow. Cyan is what you get when you mix green and yellow and light, and magenta is what you get when you mix red and blue, and then yellow is what you get when you mix red and green. I mean, if you think about it, when you look at a traffic light, it's got red, amber and green. Well, that's a gradient in primary colours.
oh. Of course.
Ah, yes.
See, when people think of primary colours, they're thinking about pigments, which, you know, fair enough. But, like, yeah. The Birmingham Science Museum and the later Museum and Art Gallery has, like, a room where you just it's got
So
those
you
lights
guys
and you
ready to
just
go?
go and mess around in it. So I knew this from infancy.
Now, just a moment.
So these Millennium Point now.
Because of your
I'd go there more often, but they want money
endeavors,
from you,
the
so fuck
worlds
that
have
shit.
returned to their original states.
Yeah,
I
there's a building like that in the Fens too, that you're not allowed to have all the lights shining in the same spot because, of course, if you do, arcs are cool. The Swamp King will return from his slumber.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you how to bloody put that in the chat. I'm gonna look this shit up.
Yeah, I wanted to.
Pathways may be utilized by
I'm in the middle of a row though, so I can't do it right now.
You know you're not going to find anything, for all record of his existence was scrubbed.
So you are making it up. Good.
Of course I am.
Well, it's hard to tell with you.
You never know.
With the whole, how dare you accuse me of being Iktomi the spider god? Iktomi's a real god.
Well, actually, Doug, I hate to break it to you, but there is something here.
Well, really?
That is correct.
Got it.
Maybe they're cousins.
My word. I can see the future.
Oh no, what have I done?
Corridors of darkness.
Wait a minute, I know this art.
World to world. They may be attempting to link
Oh, no, I
these
don't know
dark
this art.
pathways to the gates between
One of the
worlds.
painting YouTubers I'm subscribed to does work for Magic occasionally, and I think he was like kind of vaguely similar to the guy who painted that
That is
picture.
all the information I can give to you. Go forth, Sora.
Why are we still in this
Donald,
tower?
And Goofy.
We had to get changed into new clothes.
Okay, one of the things about Yensid's design that made sense in Sorcerer's Apprentice and doesn't make sense here is that in the Sorcerer's Apprentice he's meant to be scary and intimidating, but in this game he's meant to be like quite comforting. They really should have changed his design to, you know, reflect that.
Maybe they should just have used Merlin instead. He's nicer.
Yeah.
Oh shit, was that even Yensid?
Yes. Who's thinking it?
Haven't we seen this somewhere before? Yes, dear. I wonder whose it was.
Oh, come on.
Malefa.
Wait, you kept her coat.
Mustn't remember her name. Oh dear.
It's obviously her coat.
She was a mean old witch. Oh no, the memories are coming back. What'll we do? Oh, what'll we do?
She was mean because you didn't invite her. Or she wasn't invited by her. Cinderella's. No.
She wasn't invited by King Stephen or Stefan and his wife,
Yes.
and that was a terrible, terrible mistake.
That's what we must
Yes.
do. Hurry.
If they'd invited her, she probably would have shown up, made a scene, and then like left without cursing anyone, except maybe whoever hit on her or said something mean. But no, then she came and cursed their daughter.
Mm.
And here she wants to rule the world.
So she's alive again?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's essentially what happens with the witch character from Banjo-Kazooie.
Might be.
And Flemmeth from Dragon Age?
And Dale. Happy flying.
Do not speak to me, Chip and Dale.
Oh no! Do we still have the goddamn gummy ship?
We do.
Oh no!
How does a ship that seems to be primarily maintained by fucking chipmunks have space for a teenage boy, a giant duck, and a humongous bipedal dog?
Wait a minute, why does this game have the same overworld? That's what it is, right?
Yeah, basically.
It has the same overworld as Birth by Sleep does.
I think Birth by Sleep reused a lot of the same assets.
It must have.
Because
Chain
Birth
of
by
Memories
Sleep
did
is
the
a
same thing
cheaply
for
made
Kingdom
game.
Hearts 1.
This
Yeah.
sure ain't what I expected. No shine, no nothing. Oh, now what's gonna happen to our plan?
Doug, you played the first game, haven't you?
I haven't actually.
You haven't?
No.
Surprised you didn't start with that one.
It's never looked that interesting.
You're correct. It isn't.
I might play it
Oh,
eventually.
savage, you know.
I'm a Dane.
I thought Danes were meant to be friendly. Or is it
We
we're
are.
friendly? Or is it when we're good, we're very good, and when we're bad, we are savage?
What?
I could have said that in a more British, gay way.
Since we've been playing these games, I've begun to remember the first game I played, and I remember the last boss fight against Riku. It's the worst thing ever. It's just, I don't know if I was doing something wrong, but it was grueling.
I've heard that people really, really don't like that with Riku. Wait, who are we? Or do we? What are you doing here?
How are you still the same age?
It's been 10 years, Hui. It looks like they've been press
And how did they get from... Isn't this Hollow Bastion?
Yeah, well, it is Radiant Garden.
Yeah, but they were in Disney Town. I thought people from different worlds weren't meant to know about each other, so how the hell did they get to Radiant Garden?
Yeah.
This world is very inconsistent.
Get away from there. That's ice cream. Go away. No! Oh no!
So apparently Scrooge McDuck travelled the worlds with Mickey.
A transit system? I thought people weren't meant to know about different worlds.
No!
So that's why you can't explain the giant duck. But you can explain... But this happens? What the hell?
Do I sense an ice cream mini game of sorts here?
Why is there ice cream so much in this game? Oh god, you're gonna have to fix the ice cream economy. I still can't believe I nearly took at that joke when I'm the one who bloody hated it.
Oh god, the thing I'm saying is really horrible. Horrible.
That's the town's defense mechanism.
Zemnis is going to eventually show up and be like, "Ah, so you have arrived here in Hollow Bastion / Radiant Garden. But listen, Sora. Listen, listen, listen."
Fix my ice cream. No. This game has actually ruined my sense of humor.
It's all ice cream
This is what it's like
now.
with everything.
but seriously, the next time somebody's saying it's going to say ice cream, I'm just going to really. Oh god, no.
You're gonna have flashbacks.
Yeah. I'll fall to the floor weeping because I remember a dog trying to get through the ice cream mini game for the 17th time.
So did they fall through the floor like you're in a Bethesda game?
Yeah. I am going to be Bethesda at this.
This is reminding me of that time when VC made some delicious pancakes, which I was having with jam and whipped cream.
Why? Why are you bringing that up?
And I was halfway
through.
I was halfway through my second raspberry jam and whipped cream pancake when I remembered that just earlier that day, one of my friends had been telling me about how he'd really quite terribly suffered from a penis hemorrhage. And me halfway with a cylindrical food with white and red little red chunks coming out of it in my mouth. I lost my appetite.
Everyone who was around you was who suffered the most. You still fucking ate it. And to insist on eating it in the most phallic way possible.
It's what Jack would have wanted.
Why do you keep bringing Jack into this? The poor man!
Listen, he made me hear about his fucking penis hemorrhage like 6 times.
Because you're his friend!
He did a live art performance about it!
Yeah, and somebody else did a live art performance about childbirth, didn't they?
I haven't forgiven them either! Jack will suffer as I have suffered, as the world suffered.
That's going to be the theme of everything Doug plays now. It's just to make us.
No, I'll tell you exactly how he mentioned this whole thing to me when he was eating the pancake. He was like, "This reminds me of Jack's penis hemorrhage." Oh no! It really spoiled my appetite. No, it fucking didn't. Aww. You were eating like a vacuum cleaner, Doug.
I simply can't eat more of this. Eats more.
Well, we've learned an important lesson today.
Don't tell blatant lies in front of people who were there. Liars must have good memories and no eyewitnesses.
I totally did lose my appetite. It's just I wasn't going to waste all of those pancakes. So I pushed through. Nobly.
He wasn't bothered at all. Don't listen to his lies.
I'm not.
So this Trapper's Tale is actually really nice. It was worth trapping those punks over.
I have no idea where we're meant to go.
So I've done like 98% of the 358 over 2 days. Oh, the rest of the remaining 5% is... What was the point of this again?
Why does this place look so,
Meet the Hollow Bastion Restoration
dull?
Committee.
Because it's the crapified version of what it used to be.
Oh.
This is the only design choice that makes sense.
A while back, everyone suddenly remembered.
This just makes it sound like you're going to plant flowers in places, which I suppose is Aerith's part of this plan.
You remembered? Wait, does that mean you forgot about us?
So we have Dirt, Sid, and
So where have you guys
what's his
been all
name?
this time?
We have Squall, Sid, Yuppie.
You mixed
Aerith.
up Squall and Cloud. That is just so typical. That's just like the best thing ever. I love it.
Oh, Squall! That's right!
Together again.
He's broody like Cloud, but this time he has brown hair.
This is the thing that I don't really understand about his being here in the first place, is that his entire character arc is so tied into the other characters from Final Fantasy VIII that removing him from them just seems completely counterproductive. Because frankly, Cloud's character arc doesn't depend on Final Fantasy VII characters the same way.
Hollow Bastion's got a problem.
These two aren't really interchangeable, and that's largely because Squall, as much as he is intensely boring, he's actually kind of specific to his continuity.
Then let's
He's
cut to the
necessary.
chase.
Yeah, well, I suppose it's not so much that he's necessary to it as it's necessary to him. He only makes sense in the context of the world he was created for.
Squall is the...
He's a child soldier.
Yeah, that one is Squall, and Cloud is the one with yellow hair. Yeah.
Yeah. Cloud is the one with spiky blonde hair. Squall is the one with less spiky, but still quite spiky brown hair.
See, I'm meant to believe that this guy is like close enough to being a normal person that he's friends with Aerith and Yuffie of all people, but there's no Zell. There's no Renoa. Selfie's off on a fucking island somewhere with some kids from Final Fantasy X.
Right on time.
He's not rolling his eyes constantly at Irving. What the hell? There's no Quistis trying to get into his trousers and then giving up when it's convenient.
I don't know my Final Fantasy characters that much. I know who, what's his name, Sephiroth's mother is, but that's about it, really.
They're presents for you.
And then a few
That's
other...
fine.
Hollow Bastion Restoration Committee honorary member.
Kinda cool, huh?
Hey, thanks, Leah.
Why?
How many of these cars did you have made, Aerith?
Oh no, we're supposed to be at
And why does it
like
have
1,000.
That has like, if you notice, that's got a magnetic strip on it. What machine is meant to take this? I think it's meant to be like one of those all-day cards you get at theme parks. But it doesn't make any sense in this context.
For some reason, it reminds me of
that
some
yeast
kind
is
of,
awful.
rebel group. Is that what they are in this game? Rebel group?
No, they're just a restoration committee.
Yeah, but it's...
They're probably like whatever group is in your town is really into that guy with the shield and is like, we should have more monuments to him and have more hanging baskets. They're those people, the people who fight to protect the village common and don't want that housing project to be done because unless they change the design of the buildings to be more keeping with the area.
Well, I suppose we're also functioning with provisional government.
We want
guess.
to restore Hollow Bastion to what it used
None of
to
these
be.
places seem to have government,
Who
even the ones
knows?
with kings.
Maybe even something
That's
better.
because those kings never seem to bloody show
There's
up.
still a lot to do.
Where's King
But I'm sure
Stefan?
we can handle everything.
Where's Philip's dad?
Except for that.
Maybe he fell out of
Those
window.
Maleficent clearly does not have the best subplot of Sleeping Beauty because, like, I fucking love that subplot with those two arguing over where their kids are gonna live.
We'll handle him.
Well, that's good to hear. So, Sora.
They both
you know
have
what's
valid
going on
concerns, but they're
There's
such
this
good
guy,
friends.
Pete,
They
who's been
get into this
going around
massive fight
plotting
and it's
with the
hilarious because there's an incredibly drunk bard.
He's not smart enough to tie his own shoes.
Sleeping
The ones
Beauty is such a
we need to
good
worry
film,
about
and I feel like
are
Maleficent just shat all over it.
Hambo's
Even though
organization
Angelina
brought
Jolie
you
does make a
guys
very
in charge,
beautiful
too.
Maleficent
You call
when she's fully dressed in her hennin.
Okay,
Because that's what
so
we're all here for.
Xemnas was just waiting for, like, a line to make his entrance on.
Wait, which Xemnas is this?
You know, Xemnas. There's only one
That doesn't
Xemnas.
narrow it. That doesn't narrow it down. Is it the Xemnas who's pretending to be Xemnas despite the fact he's actually Terranaut? Or is it the Xemnas who's calling himself Diz? Or is it Riku?
No, you're thinking of Ansem.
Oh, you Ansem.
Because
Oh, yeah.
there's the Riku who's pretending to be the guy who was calling himself Ansem, but was actually Terranaut. There's the Ansem who's actually Diz, and there's the Ansem who was pretending to be Ansem that was actually Terranaut. And there's Xemnas, who is the nobody of the Ansem who was pretending to be Ansem that was actually Terranaut. You know, simple.
Oh, okay.
Could you put the name down in chat so we can look him up when you have the time?
Yeah, there's no
See, I was
need to
confused
these
because
nobodies.
Xemnas as a nobody name is just this guy pretending to be Ansem, so...
What do you mean Kingdom Hearts is confusing?
Donald, please heal me. Donald didn't heal me.
This is what you get when your primary healthcare provider is a duck.
Well, I put his name in chat since now I have a break. Thanks, Donald.
Oh, Samus! Oh, yeah, okay.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy, yeah.
He's also one of Xehanort's 13 Xehanorts on account of being Xehanort. He's like number 2 in the Xehanorts, and then Ansem is number 3. Which,
I'm thinking about having Maxwell punch Corbin in the eye.
I mean, I do hate Maxwell. He is the Saddler of the Sea. So, I'm down for that.
Ohio is inland.
He is the Saddler of the Sea.
Okay. No, it's just because I need some drama, and I can see Maxwell throwing a fit when the two people who think their relatives are dead aren't there to do his bidding.
What are you riding on?
Oh, this is hard. I find it very difficult to get back into because I haven't touched it for about a year.
Maybe you should try and focus your wordage on EFS sales on Sunday. Said ends on Sunday. Then.
Well, you said I should do herd because it was shorter.
I did, but if you're having trouble writing it, Donald, do anything. Oh wait, that's why Donald's not healing me. He isn't fucking here.
What? Where is he?
I don't know. He's fucked off somewhere. Him and Goofy Dog.
Oh, you're stuck with Squall. Oh, sorry, he calls himself Leon in this game for some inexplicable reason.
But isn't there already someone named Leon, or am I confused with someone else?
Oh no, there's tons of people.
Yeah, there's
Leon,
definitely...
or Leonheart, or Highwind, or Lionheart. Leon Lionheart, that's an actual character, I'm pretty sure of it.
Yeah, I think he shows up in the first game, I think. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's why Nimura stole his name, because he's never going to show up in this game.
I regret playing this on standard difficulty.
No, I thought you chickened out and went easy, wasn't paying attention.
No, I was like, oh, I've played this game before. I'll do it on standard. I'm competent. I'm not competent. But that's to lose the gate. Everyone's gonna die.
They're both gone.
Well, maybe dying again is how you'll know not to fuck up next time.
The Keyblade. A truly marvelous weapon. Were it only in more capable hands.
By the skin of his teeth. A Keyblade, a truly marvellous weapon. A weapon you can't stab with and has no sharp edges.
It says boink every time he hits something. Boink, boink. It's a spooky toy, really.
Ah, yes, Organisation 13, which has 7 people in it. Right
It's
now.
like the Crazy 88, it's aspirational.
Good, now we can settle this.
What a shame. And here I thought we could be friends.
Oh, Kill Bill was a good set of movies.
Organisation 13 is remarkably confident in this game for a group which has lost half of its members to this one dude.
What's the big idea?
Oopsie daisy.
Is that including Axel?
Now,
Not yet.
Do you think that's polite? Shutting me down like that?
Yeah, but he's wavering.
As if.
Yeah.
You can talk all you want.
Because he's in love with him.
But that won't change a thing.
Yeah. Ow, ow, itchy it, itchy it.
I can't hear it, is this Zigbar?
See, that would work if I were just any old dude. Except I'm not. I'm with the organization. Nothing any old about me.
Huh. Tough talk.
No, seriously, who is this? I can't tell.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't hear you because I had an itchy ear. It's Zigbar.
I think you guys.
I knew it was Zigbar!
I thought it was Axel. The hand
As
movements.
if. Why don't I remind you how tough the crowd you're dealing with really is?
I'm so surprised that apparently my surfer dude voice is actually not a bad impression of Zigbar.
That's right. Used to give
I'll
me
try
that
it again
same
now, but I know I
exact look.
fuck it up from the
I
pressure.
guess you think you can psych me out by saying really random stuff.
Gee, I just don't know. Be a good boy now.
Wait! Yes, he got away.
That was
Sigbar is the
weird.
one from Birth by
gave him the
Sleep, the
same
one who
look?
lost
Yep.
his eye.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he was just trying to confuse you.
Yeah,
He was
you're
actually
right.
a dull character.
Only one me.
He is a pretty dull character. He's one of the 13 Xehanauts too.
This is my son.
Hollow
This is
Bastion
also my son.
Restoration
They all
Committee
named
honorary
Xehanort.
member.
Don't you talk to me and my son or my son or etc. ever again.
Xehanort took, if you want to do something right, you should do it yourself, to a whole new level.
You should do it 13 times.
Yeah, but like, some of them are like copies he's made, and some of them are like people he's possessed, and some of them are people he's just like fucked and jizzed into, so I'm not really sure what what the hell's going on anymore.
Two of
that's
them
what putting a part of yourself into means, right? Like Horus did.
I've
yeah,
looked
sure,
it up,
why not?
And some of them, we don't know who they are.
Yeah, we only know about half of them.
Yeah.
Two of them are him from different times, like old Xehanort and young Xehanort.
Is there a majority age Xehanort?
Must have been the gate Yensid talked about.
Two of them are like Ansem and Xemnas. Two of them are Zigbar and Syx, who are just different people who he's put chunks of his heart into. And we don't know who the others are.
That's what the whole jizz joke was about.
Yeah. No, I got that. It was well good. It was a joke worthy of Ixomi, the spider god.
Well, yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? How do you think I'm knitting 4 different scarves right now? JK, it's only 3.
To my eyes to see.
I've got to walk on 2 of these legs.
Does he really have the power to wield the Keyblade? He's nothing but a boy.
Give him a chance.
You know, the older I get, the more ridiculous these chairs look.
We can't even sit on them properly. I have to perch on the edges.
Or else he's worthless.
He looks like he's gonna slide off.
Hope he's enjoying himself on his adventure.
I'm falling, somebody catch me.
He'd
No.
like a hand to determine his fate.
I also love how these guys have their hoods up for the sake of dramatic convenience, because there's literally no reason for them to do it in universe. Oh, he's looked
Yes.
Those are bold words coming from you.
I mean, half of them can't even get the hoods over their hair, like, comfortably.
What? Me?
Also, like in these meeting scenes, as soon as they like reveal their faces to the audience, they also stop wearing their hoods. Here.
Truer words were never spoken. Well, I suppose the fun will have to wait.
Do you know what happens to those who lose their true
When was the last time any of us felt anything? Dude, like, most of you feel shit, you just don't... This is the problem I have with the whole nobody's don't have emotions thing. They objectively clearly do.
The hero of the Keyblade has embarked on.
You don't need to have a heart to have a change of one.
Make sure it is.
These chairs look stupid. Who did you get in to build these? What contractor was like, oh, you want 13 chairs of varying heights?
Well, the chairs can change heights, so they could all be down on the ground if they didn't have an aesthetic to think about.
Don't they just have like? Couldn't they have these these differences of height be more subtle?
Who's the one left behind?
Probably Xemnas.
Yeah.
It's gone.
No, it's the Thunderhead from Skyward Sword.
Should we go to this place? Oh, that's the Deast Castle. Deast Castle or Land of Dragons?
Isn't there like an entire world in this game that's fundamentally pointless?
Oh god, more than one.
Like Atlantica, isn't that kind of pointless?
Oh yeah, you don't even have to go to Atlantica.
Isn't there just a rhythm game in Atlantica?
Yeah, I think that's what you do there.
I hated that game.
I think there might also be a boss fight with Giant Ursula, but we're never going to see it. We're never going to find out for sure, because I'm not going to go and do rhythm games.
It was optional? I went through that for nothing? Oh.
Yep.
Yep.
No! This isn't fair!
Your frustration is adorable to me.
I'm going to find the creators of this game and break their faces.
Can you wait until after Kingdom Hearts 3 is out? Because I've been waiting 15 years for it.
No! What's happened now?
There are people born when I started waiting for this. Where people dawned when I started waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3, who are now old enough to be Prime Minister. In Sealand, at least.
How good or bad do you think it's going to be when it comes out?
I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually quite good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be the best Kingdom Hearts game by a country mile, I can promise you that. But whether or not it's a good game, fundamentally, depends on how good you think the rest of the series is.
Because I've been thinking, I can't understand how I got through these games when I played them.
You had lower standards 15 years ago.
I mean, in terms of gameplay, Kingdom Hearts 2 is pretty good. It's just the story and
I think the novelty
fact
of Kingdom Hearts 1 is what kept people going.
Yeah.
Although, let's be honest, Kingdom Hearts 1 is basically just Captain N.
What's going on now on the screen? What are you doing?
Because for some reason they thought this kind of shoot 'em up was a good addition to an action-adventure game.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, but they did that in 1 too.
Yes.
I never said it was an idea they only had once.
I know. I can't remember how I got through those the mine sections in the first game because I didn't outfit my gunship at all.
Actually, I had Lunar Nights at one point, and it also had weird sections like this.
Yeah.
Lunar Nights, it's part of the Sunboy Django series. You know those weird GBA games where you could play it outside and if the sun was bright you had an easier time? It's a sequel to that.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
I had it at one point and I pirated it. Let's get a real copy at some point. I don't know those R4 things I got off a friend. I need to get a real copy. Anyway, the it had these weird sections where you went through space and you did a shoot 'em up section. It was really weird. It was better than this though. I think part of the reason they did it was because it was on the DS, so they wanted to use those new things. It was a fun game. The world had been taken over by vampires.
Okay.
So you played as one dude who was a vampire hunter from like people who lived in the places where the sun was still hitting the earth, and then you had one dude who was like, I think he was a vampire, and he was powered by the moon. The other guy was powered by the sun, and they were working together to stop this Para Sol thing, which was blocking the sun from the earth. I got stuck at one point because there wasn't a lot of sun point places to like recharge from, and part of the problem with that was that you had these healing items, and the really effective ones, they were like oranges and apples and shit, and they rotted. They would literally rot on you. It was ridiculous.
I just hope I don't get discovered.
Whatever, you're just scared, admit it.
Okay, either that actually is Ming-Na Wen voicing Mulan here. Oh, wait, shit, only I can hear her. Either that is Ming-Na Wen voicing Mulan here, or she's doing, or someone doing a very convincing impression.
Let's get the jump on him.
I remember Jasmine's voice is always a bit weird in Kingdom Hearts game. Like, it sounds exactly like her, but it sounds like she's putting on a weird voice. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like she's trying for more high-pitched and princessy, instead of how she sounds in the movie, which is like, "Fuck you, I'm Jasmine. What you gonna do about it, fool?"
Oh, hey, it is Ming-Na Wen.
Hey, Mushu.
Nice.
We missed you.
Yeah, well, you better hope I miss you.
I love Ming-Na Wen. She would never stab me and call me a Dunkard Stort.
I wonder if they'd ever put Final Fantasy spirits within the Kingdom Hearts universe. That I'd like to see.
Would she batter you though?
Because Ming-Na Wen was in that as well.
Oh, yeah.
Nah, Ming-Na Wen wouldn't batter him.
Yeah,
that's because it wouldn't be a fair
nice
fight.
for that. Yeah, it wouldn't be a fair fight.
Something like that.
She can break like concrete slabs with her hands. I cannot do this thing.
No, I mean...
Pink,
Mulan Ping.
Just Ping. I am Ping, son of Fazu.
You know Mushu?
Mushu's one of my family's guardians.
We didn't know we were borrowing somebody as important as a family guardian.
Yeah, that's right. And that puts you three up to your eyeballs in debt to Ping here. Well, guess what, kiddies? It's payback time.
Mushu.
Ah, they don't mind. Ain't that right?
Something I like about Goofy is that he's the perfect embodiment of what I call folksy American charm.
We gotta go find the other recruits over at the training camp.
Now I'm just reminded of
only folksy.
Okay.
What do you mean fit in?
later in the game they try to give you a fake out and think that Goofy has been killed by falling rocks. And like, people grieve over him. And then they're just like, oh no, Goofy was alive all along, because of course he was. This is Kingdom Hearts, and he's Goofy.
Oh no, those two would fall for anything.
I'm right here.
No.
Of course she's a girl. She looks like she's wearing lipstick. Very nice, natural looking lipstick. She's clearly gone the no makeup look down pat, but you know, still. Do you really want to be without the healer?
I want to be able to access Valor form, basically.
Let's make this game harder. Oh no, I remember the scene. It's really dull.
Hey, no cutting.
This world more
Look,
than
if
the
men
others.
walked like that, they'd crush their own testicles.
What are you doing?
They really try hard to
I'm gonna
influence.
notice that. He just punched out a child. Why are you not?
What are you doing?
They really try hard to integrate like Sora, Donald, and Goofy into this world, and it does not work.
Doesn't it end up with like a really important speech from the Emperor being like ruined by Sora standing there going, yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Please. What a girl.
What were they standing in line for?
Food.
You punched
Oh.
me. What a shrimp!
Who you calling a shrimp? Hand the lips. I'm a bona
Yeah, but
fide
real men
guardian
have no manners.
Let's just get back in line, okay?
Whose side do you want? I just got slugged.
Want some more? Soldiers, get back in line.
The captain.
I just got slogged.
Oh wait, everybody has lipstick on in this world. No, it is legit that you didn't realise she wasn't a woman. She wasn't a man, sorry.
Yeah.
What are they?
Heartless.
Everyone here has fabulous lip gloss.
Oh, yeah?
Now that's a good matte
I
lipstick.
hope you're ready.
I don't know the difference.
Well, matte lipstick would be, you know, matte, and lip gloss is more, you know, people are still reblogging that goddamn post, even though it's like, stop reblogging that goddamn post, it's factually inaccurate. Bastards. Morale.
No, they have to work in the struggle mechanics somewhere.
The post has only showed up once on my desk.
The fact that they're being assisted by two random strangers, a dog and a duck, would probably lower morale.
This is the help we're getting?
We're so doomed, and that child's obviously foreign.
Actually, I'm not sure. I mean, Sora has like light brown hair, so he. But Destiny Islands is clearly meant to be Okinawa.
Well, maybe if he wanted us to take these people seriously as actual Japanese characters, he shouldn't have given them such European colorings.
They shouldn't have given those.
Especially in a universe where they're going to be coming into contact with blatantly white characters who have the same coloring.
You're right. That's right.
You can't just ignore hair and eye colour as part of, like, ethnicness, because that's not accurate. Like, most people in my country and most people in Denmark, I'm pretty sure Denmark has the same thing. Most people in our countries have blue eyes. This isn't something you can just ignore.
It's a very common thing, yes.
I think it's like either 60 or 70% of English people have blue eyes. Like, it's that common here.
Mm.
And isn't there like a thing where in Sweden most people are blonde as well, or something?
I think that's correct.
Ah, yes, the famous mountain pass scene, ripe to be ruined.
Where the heck did that go?
It's just kind of problematic when you have a whole bunch of characters who aren't meant to be taken literally with their colouring, and you put them next to characters who are meant to be taken literally with their colouring. Because maybe Tidus isn't meant to be taken literally, maybe Wakka isn't meant to be taken literally, but do you know who on Destiny Islands is meant to be taken literally with her colouring? Selphie. Those characters in Final Fantasy VIII are meant to be white.
Yeah. I'm just figuring out whether we actually need to do these missions or if you can just go straight to the mountain pass. Because if we can go straight to the mountain pass, I'm going straight there.
You have no honour. Yeah, I thought I'd get into the spirit things. Yeah, but from the, like, even though it's obviously meant to be Okinawa, like, I'm sure these people in China with, you know, kind of standard, true to life Chinese colouring would probably see a blue-haired, light brown-haired, the blue-eyed, light brown-haired kid and go, well, shit, he's foreign. What the fuck is he doing in our arc? We never signed up for this.
Hang on. Thank you, game. I played stop tutorial. No. 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 No.
No, no, no.
Thank you.
No mantra of any Kingdom Hearts game.
I thought you were gonna break out into no, there's no techno.
Well,
I'm gonna find the video for that song just to make sure you're absolutely like familiar with it, just to be on the safe side. I'm pretty sure you are.
Okay, apparently we have to do these missions.
No!
Over.
There's no limit. There's no limits. Reach for the skies. We do what we want, and we do it with pride. Yeah, that's the one.
I like it. It's cheap.
I'm pretty sure we should have somebody like eventually watching this after the fact, going, "Oh, it's good that they showed that song. What the hell they're talking about?" I think it's Europop anyway. Like, I
think it is.
Yeah, I don't know where they're from. Too Unlimited. There we go. Where are they from? They're Belgian.
I still.
Oh no! Hang on. It's a dance group founded by Belgian producers Jean-Paul de Coste and Phil Wild, and fronted by Dutch rappers Way Slingaard and Dutch vocalist Aniek Doff. So it's international, but from two countries right on top of each other.
Here it is. Found it.
See, this is weird. Like, for some reason, we don't seem to be able to use, like, items. Oh, right, it's because I'm on the wrong menu. God, sometimes it's tough being as competent
He's so
as I am.
competent. Yeah, I know. I mean, how could I ever think about living up to this level of competence?
Oh, I remember those.
See, according to like Nomura and Square, Sora can use 2 Keyblades anytime he likes, yet inexplicably only does so in Valor form. Like, why, Sora? Just use 2 Keyblades.
Because he's a boring traditionalist.
You don't see Roxas doing this.
Because Roxas isn't a boring traditionalist.
God, I wish we were playing as Roxas.
I wish we were
like
playing as
Sora,
Roxas too.
but
It's a bit boring, really.
yeah, it would be more interesting if we were playing as Roxas and Donald and Goofy were having to cope with a new
Heroes
guy.
like Sora are why heroes like Sora are why the Silver Age, the Bronze Age of comic books, transitioned into the Dark Age because people wanted heroes like Roxas but failed, so they ended up with characters like Riku. Oh, burn!
Come on, come on. Oh. Less. See, Nomura also designs all of the monsters for Kingdom Hearts, and the monster designs are really good. Why does he not just design monsters?
Because that's a lower, like, prestige job than characters.
I know, but he's good at it.
He's really good at it. His monsters are really good. It's this problem where somebody's really competent at one thing, but but being promoted means they have to be put onto something they're actually not very good at. Isn't that the paradox of promotion anyway, where somebody's really competent at their current job, so you put them in a new job that they're not as competent at?
Yeah.
By the time they get really competent at that job, you want to move them to a completely different job.
Why am I hitting tents? I have like a vague idea. I think if I thought that if I hit tents, like hidden enemies might emerge, though I didn't.
Or maybe help.
Where is everyone?
Sure.
Or is that the forbidden question?
Serious question here, Doug. In Fate Exteller, or whatever it is, I captioned something here. NPCs running the war from behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that's a mistake, or is it just fuck it?
They might be being literal.
Yeah, like apparently it's like a data thing. The moon. That wizard came from a moon. So they might be being literal about NPCs.
But it's just so fourth wall breaking.
It is.
What? It's like
I find it weird.
Yes.
When Nero's like Emperor of Roses, and I'm like, don't you mean the Emperor of Rome, which you let burn whilst you fiddled?
La 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 la.
I can't hear you. I'm the Emperor of Roses because I'm a girl now, and that means I must be Empress of a girly thing.
Twang.
I can't wait until busty teenage girl Caligula shows up.
Oh no!
How about busty teenage girl Claudius?
Or Brutus?
Yeah, but Claudius killed his sister and ate her unborn fetus.
What?
That's what Claudius is about.
It is?
Yeah. That's what Claudius. Look, Claudius, the Roman Emperor. He did this. He. It wasn't just any unborn baby though. It was his unborn baby because he was incestuous with her.
Oh.
See, one of the things that really bothers me about the Fate... I mean, many things bother me about the Fate franchise. But one of the things that really bothers me is because I'm pretty sure I could write wizard summoning Bishonen / Bishojo-fied historical figures to fight wars way better than this has done it.
Well, of course. You can.
I could do that.
I think most people would be able to do that. I think.
One would hope, because it's pretty shittily done in Fate.
It is really badly done.
Okay, so if you're banging Nero, that means you're banging the grandnephew and adopted son of Claudius, who was also the uncle of Caligula.
Yes.
Roman history is bizarre.
Also, it makes me sad that King Woofer has never worked into these things.
I work a character called Woofer into EFS, but it's meant to be Mercia, not whatever house swamp you're from.
Oh, King Woofer was great.
I'm getting an echo again.
Oh yeah, we are.
Oh, there it is.
I remember when digital TV was just coming in, and my sister had a TV in her room, a terrestrial TV. So when she was watching upstairs the same day my parents were watching downstairs on the digital, there was this weird, like, if you were sitting on the stairs you could hear them both, and one was slightly delayed after the other because the terrestrial was faster. So it was so bizarre.
The echo seems to have gone now anyway. It was a momentary echo to add gravitas to what we were saying.
No, it's still there.
I haven't changed anything in my settings. I don't know what it is.
We'll survive somehow.
Yeah.
We will survive.
That's how old we are, by the way. That I remember the changeover from terrestrial to digital. Getting Sky One was like the most amazing thing. 6 channels. 6. Previously we'd only had 5, and like 2 of them were shit.
Actually, well, especially to like, because the fact that I can't hear the echo over here means that it also can't be heard on the stream. Because it's my my chat and so on that's transmitting anyway.
Oh, that's alright then. I'll have to just cope with hearing my own voice echoed back at me. It's so surreal.
Oh, fucking heartless. I don't remember, like, this struggle-esque morale system being worked in before. Like, when I first played Kingdom Hearts 2.
I have the PS2 copy of Kingdom Hearts 2, so I could check. That would involve playing it.
Yeah, that would involve playing the entirety of Twilight Town.
I don't really want to do that, though. Nah.
I can't really remember when I stopped playing the game. I think it was really, really late. But I don't remember that either. But I do remember I hated that area. And the whole entire section. That world. I didn't like it. It was very annoying.
This is one of my favourite Disney films, so it hurts to see it bastardized this much.
I can understand why.
I adore this film.
Oh.
It's alright. Not my favourite.
No, it is your favourite.
I think my favourite Disney film's probably Sleeping Beauty,
Frozen,
actually.
isn't it? Can't believe your
I have
favourite
really
Disney
fast-
film is Frozen.
Okay. I feel so attacked right now.
I have a really bad taste in Disney movies, so my favorite is The Emperor's New Groove.
Oh
No,
no,
that's a
hang on, I take my
brilliant
back.
film.
Emperor's New Groove, Emperor's New Groove, Emperor's New Groove is the best.
That's not bad taste at all. That's an amazing
Lilo
film.
and Stitch is Lilo and Stitch is totally solid. It's a solid
yeah.
film.
I watched the TV series before I watched the movies, the movie. So I got so shocked when Lilo just punched the other girl. What's her name? Marvel? No. Earl?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
She did cross a line.
Yeah. I was like, what?
I found like I could totally relate to Lilo's "oh my god, stop treating us like we're tourist attractions" thing, because as a British person, Americans treat British people in a less horrifying but still kind of crap way when it comes to that.
I think they do that to everyone.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do that to fucking everyone. So every like native in America and everyone else ever outside of America can totally understand it.
Yeah. What has been the worst / hardest boss in these games for you, Doug?
Demix. Without a shadow of a doubt, Demix. The actual parts where you fight... Yeah, the actual parts where you fight Demix aren't that bad, but the second battle with him, he has... 3 times during the fight he'll summon water clones, which you have to defeat in a time limit. In this remastered version of the game, they've actually added on extra time for the last round of that. But in the original, you have 10 seconds, and it was impossible for me. It took me years to do that boss battle. Literal years.
Yeah, you told the story before. You just started university when you started it, and you weren't in university when you finished it.
Yeah. That's why if they hadn't added on extra time for that boss battle, we would not be streaming this right now, because we would just get to part 200 and be like, we're back here fighting Demix again. When will I see the light of the sun again?
We're all crying really silently while you're fighting. You just, I want to stop.
They make us fight
Please,
Demix
Doug.
for their sport.
Why must we be here? I understand that misery loves company, but does misery have no sympathy for the rest of us? No empathy for humanity?
I've told all the ice cream jigs I can. I don't have anything more to give.
But
I've knitted 17,000 scarves and 200 jumpers since you started this boss battle.
Luckily, with more time on it, we should be able to do it.
I looked up the next on Wikipedia. It doesn't help. It doesn't help at all.
I would always like... I'd have like 1 water clone left by the time ran out. So with an extra 5 seconds, it should be a cinch. But that's what I'm believing.
Kim Possible would have been a great addition to this series.
Maybe she would have moved it too far ahead. Find my mice.
See, I have a running bet with someone as to what the obligatory space world in Kingdom Hearts 3 will be. Because we know there aren't going to be any Marvel worlds, or no, there aren't going to be any Marvel Cinematic Universe worlds. So it's not Guardians of the Galaxy, which was my front runner. So I think it's going to be either Wall-E or Star Wars, surely.
Oh boy.
Isn't there that space version of Pirates Treasure Island?
Oh, yes. or Treasure Planet. One of those three.
Can you imagine Mark Hamill trying to do his young Luke Skywalker voice and sounding like Jedi?
That would be awesome.
Yeah. He can't do that voice anymore, not after the reconstructive surgery. Which I think actually happened because of Star Wars. I think he had a nose injury and filming in whatever snowy area they got to be Hoth exacerbated it and fucked up his nose really badly.
Ow. I'm kind of getting flashbacks to what is God of War. Can't remember if it's 1 or 2. I think it's 1. Where there's horse enemies like these guys, and they are
centaurs.
So yeah, centaurs. And they are just so brutal.
These guys are really tough.
You're getting about the same amount of beating that I did in that section, so you're doing okay.
Doesn't help that Mulan isn't helping at all. Why are you even here, Mulan? You're a trained soldier.
Oh, Doug, did you ever notice in the Inquisition, in the Abyss, what is it, what is it called? The Abyss, Here Lies the Abyss?
Oh yeah.
In the last boss battle there, Hawk and the Grey Warden, they just stand around and do nothing.
For God's sake, Hawk. You're half the reason this problem with Corypheus is even happening. It's you and Solus.
But really, I thought it was a glitch that they just didn't want to fix for some reason. But no, it's supposed to be like that.
Why?
Why are you even there then, Hawk and Grey Warden bloke?
Hawk and insert Grey Warden here.
It really is like that.
I don't think it's going to be Alistair on my playthrough because he's king.
No, and it won't be Loghain either, because if Loghain becomes a Grey Warden, Alistair has to die. So it'll be Stroud for you.
Yeah, Stroud, the one nobody cares about.
Yeah, it'll make things an easy choice.
You do realise when I wrote my fic, that scene's going to be really awkward because it's going to be Jenny going, alright, do I go save the guy I kind of like, or do I save the guy I've never met before? But saving a guy I like is like immoral, and I fuck it off the point.
My scene there is going to be really, really weird because my Hawk has a tendency of just, well, I don't know what to do, you don't know what to do, so I'm just going to toss my staff in the air, and depending on how it lands or how I catch it, things are going to go one way or another.
Your Hawk is the Two-Face of the sea.
She is! She is! I've tried to tell her, no, you can't do this, and she's just, yes.
We'll stop them.
and she's just going to, she's just going to take a rest and just, yeah, we're leaving now, bye!
BioWare did a survey once, or that part of it was whether people sent Stroud, Alistair, Loghain, or Hawk to stay in the Fade and presumably die. And one of the interesting things they found was that among people who had played like a purple funny Hawk, you know, who remarks to Flemeth at one point that he'd like to be a dragon.
Yeah.
A majority of people who played a funny Hawk left Hawk in the Fade because they felt it was the best way he could achieve his dream of becoming a dragon.
That's really damn weird.
The comments were things like, I left him here because I believe that my son can become a dragon.
My Hawk doesn't really care.
Is he one of those cultists from Dark Souls?
Yes.
See, my thick hawk does care if he dies, because if he dies in the Fade, then he can't stop Solus from banging Jenny.
Please, please, for the love of everything, shit! My hog is just like, I don't mind fighting a giant spider for the rest of my life, which might be a few minutes. But
it's not clear why we need to leave somebody behind in the first place. But I suppose it will make more sense when I actually see it with my own 2 eyes.
Yeah.
No, not really. I don't think it does.
I think it's just like somebody needs to distract the giant spider.
Can we not just do something else?
Well, you could try and run
throw
for
a
the
book at
thing.
it. Like, here's a book, and I'll be like, oh shit, what's this about? Oh, wait a second, this is Area 4!
Jenny shaking her fist at the nightmare demon. I cannot believe it on this. The day of my daughter's birthday you have appeared to me, Iktomi, the spider god.
The fuck? Since some of the Hun's bird helicopters.
It is how the hunt has to be now, at the end of all things.
What? Wait, what? What the fuck am I looking at?
This is that famous mountain pass scene. Remember that beloved dramatic scene from Mulan?
No!
Where she defeats the Hun by using her immense mental powers and prowess instead of just using her physical brawn. Now it's a teenage boy just hitting things with a key.
There are so many birds here.
Why?
You literally can't kill them all, by the way.
Oh no, it's way too many.
That bit ends anyway.
Really, it seriously looks like it's just glitching. There's... Mulan, whatever his name is, stop it!
See, it's shit like this, which is why they're getting like the writers of the worlds they're using to write the stories for Kingdom Hearts 3, because it will avoid.
What, they couldn't just get like a competent writer on staff?
Oh
they
no!
Like outsource this shit.
Yep. Presumably, like various companies were just being like, no, we saw the mountain pass Pelican scene.
Where are all the Huns?
We'll handle this.
What does Mulan and the Chinese army think they're fighting?
Let's get down to business to defeat one Hun and many Pelicans.
You know what would make sense? If all the other NPCs were actually monster characters, because I'm pretty sure that's what they're supposed to be. They've just replaced them with the characters they don't have to design.
Yeah, or like give us a scene of I don't know, Pete turning all of the Huns into Heartless.
That would make sense. It would excuse them for not having any of the kind of humanoid characters, but it would work out.
Yeah, like it would be better than this, where like this invasion of China is just one dude and his bird friends.
And he's running from an avalanche now.
Well, he does that in the movie.
He does.
I love the fact that Chang just can't move. He's just gonna stand there until his girlfriend saves him.
Thanks, Ping.
It was nothing.
I should never have doubted you. From now on, you have my trust.
Thank you, Captain.
Is this the point where Shang starts getting sweet on Polly Oliver?
Yeah. Unfortunately, because the time scale of these stories is so condensed, we're now going to go immediately to the capital.
Excuse me, I have to write something on the elf list for him. One moment.
That's the I simply must. Somebody is wrong on the internet noise.
didn't you? You knew Ping was really a woman in disguise. I can't believe you lied to me. The punishment for high treason and dishonoring the army is death.
This is a lot less dramatic than her having her clothes ripped off.
Now.
Yeah.
You're all dismissed.
Captain.
My debt is repaid.
That was a strange transition.
The Emperor is waiting.
Wait, what just happened?
Move out.
He's just like, I gotta kill you. Actually, JK, just leave.
What? For saving his life? Or?
Mushu revealed that she's a woman.
Oh.
Because everything has to happen within half an hour in these worlds.
Wouldn't it have made more sense for, like, Sora to have to leave and do something else for a bit, and then, like, half of this shit to have happened while he was gone, and we could use Narnia logic to explain it?
Yeah, because you visit these worlds twice anyway, so it would make more sense to have, like, this mountain scene as the final part of his first visit, and then the rest of the film as his second visit.
You know your daddy's gonna be steamed as
With it picking up after she's been discovered to be a womaning.
Instead of her apparently changing outfits in the middle of a fucking mountain cold weather in front of a teenage boy, a dog, a duck, and a tiny dragon. Where's the cricket? Yeah, between the four of us, one death sentence is going to be nothing.
One death sentence shared between the four of us? That means each of us is only a quarter dead.
He's alive.
He's heading for the Imperial City. We've got to warn Shang.
Well, so a save point, but I didn't.
Why does it feel like Mulan's eyes got bigger?
I think they did.
But in the movie she looks the same, just with her hair down.
Ah yes, and of course the Imperial City is like a 5-minute walk from this snowy mountain range.
Apparently in the 1980s Hollywood planned a version of Doctor Who starring Michael Jackson as the Doctor.
Yeah, that would have worked well.
Well, the only problem with it is that he's a terrible actor.
Who is?
Michael Jackson. Have you ever seen Captain EO?
No.
Don't.
I know, I'd say the fact that he's American is a problem. You can't have an American doctor.
That would be...
I mean,
Sorry,
that is true, but on the other hand, it's Michael Jackson. He's okay.
But without context, like if anybody had joined the stream just then, that sounds like me saying, Americans can't practice medicine.
Hello, Marlon. I hope you don't mind us saying Americans can't be medical practitioners.
I am very excited for a new Doctor, though. I saw her in Broadchurch. She was very good.
Oh, they've actually done that now? Maybe the lady?
She's been revealed, yeah.
Oh!
I'm hoping she just keeps, like, not understanding people are talking to her when people use female pronouns. Because, like, she spent, like, the last 1,500 years being a bloke. This is gonna take some getting used to. And then when she regenerates again, it should be into a bloke, and then, like, he should be like, oh, God, I just got used to the last one!
Shang!
Look at this empty fucking Imperial City.
That's not an Imperial City, that's a fucking field.
And why should I believe you?
Oh, this is an Imperial City.
Yeah, and that you're...
Which has just recently recovered from an outbreak of the plague.
Where's all the furniture?
Where are all the people? There's meant to be a crowd here.
Hey Marlon C. It is a fun game. A very flawed game, certainly, but it's a lot of fun. I do enjoy this franchise.
It is what we in Britain would call a romp.
Yes. Which is fitting, because until recently Saw was wearing a rompin.
Guard the palace! Do not let the enemy get anywhere near the Emperor! That's an order!
Captain, we'll secure the courtyard, and you can...
Where did the rest of the soldiers go?
Oh,
Like,
no.
why didn't you just do this with the Huns?
Yeah. I suppose that would mean we'd have to model Huns. I didn't want to do that.
We didn't want to do that.
It's not like this game had a huge budget or anything.
No, not at all.
Where does the budget for a Kingdom Hearts game even go if it doesn't go on NPCs and environments?
I don't know, honestly.
Is it the licensing?
I think it went to the Disney logo.
The licensing.
No, because they haven't licensed anything. This is a co-throw between Square and Disney. Yeah.
So where's the money going? Cakes?
I mean, Disney's fronting up most of the budget for this.
How are they not just infuriated by the quality of product they ended up with?
Because it's popular and sells well.
Like Frozen?
Yeah.
All I wanted was a Disney film where a girl rescues a boy, and they couldn't even do that right.
Remember that
Listen
classic...
to the lyrics of Let It Go. Like, it's such a villain song. It makes her sound like she doesn't give a flying fuck about all of the people she's killing. Can't just make it winter in the middle of summer and not expect a lot of deaths, especially amongst the very young and the very old.
I wonder what her education was.
I should have given Sora a better keyblade. Folly.
Can you just do that in game?
Not during battle, no.
It's one of those games.
Look at my stitches again. Those you're wondering, I am knitting a scarf.
Yeah, that's what Reese does in Reese stream. She like eats donuts and knits scarves. Sometimes she knits donuts and eats scarves.
I was wondering.
On those days, we have only suffering.
I need to do something constructive with my hands while I'm watching these streams and commentating on how awful I think this game is.
If Doug played first game, would we think that's awful too? Or
I probably think that's worse.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure like the first game definitely has worse gameplay.
Yeah. For some reason, I always have trouble with those mages in the later stages that wanted you to do something to them.
Oh, that's awkward.
They were always suffering from some kind of effect. you had to cure them. One of them was thunder. You had to shock them. I never got one right for some reason.
Shit, I have no curatives. And I'm really low on health.
And you don't have a healer.
Man, you really thought this did through, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, even if I had Donald in party, I wouldn't have a healer, because Donald's fucking useless.
Ah, so are you able to heal the gates by picking up those orbs?
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
I had to work in the struggle mechanics. Oh hey, Mickey's here.
Did they though? Oh, speaking of mysterious figures, did you watch today's Inquisition?
I did, I just don't have time for it.
I didn't.
Well, it turns out the Monolith, people who make Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor and are now doing the sequel, Shadow of War, they made a mysterious stranger type character.
Shannon, please stop hitting me.
In memory of one of their deceased friends. Oh shit. This is abusive.
I'm trying to use healing light to save Sora. Shanyu is reluctant to let me.
Let's go.
Let's do this together.
Wow, I was saying something. What was it?
Mysterious stranger.
Mysterious stranger, deceased friend who died of cancer, and it's $5 downloadable content.
Oh, wow. That's not good.
That's pretty bad.
That's what I call burning some honey bun. Oh yeah.
Which means that they're expecting you to pay for this tribute to their friend, and it's so tributary that quite a few people who buy the game are never going to see him because they're not going to shell out $5 goddamn bucks for the privilege.
I've heard a great deal about you.
What I suspect happened is that the developers made this tribute intending for it to be put in the base game or available for free, and then Warner Brothers jumped in and was like, nope, we're charging.
Oh, I think that's exactly what happened too, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm okay with it.
No. I mean, Warner Brothers fucked up there. Oh, hey, people! Those weren't in there in the base game.
Where? I was looking
You'll
at my
see them in
knitting.
a moment.
You have saved us.
They're very
Same
obviously
I think those are just the soldiers who've just been repeated over and over again.
Oh my god, they move!
They do?
Game of the year?
Oh wow. Oh shit.
Excellency.
Captain Lee.
What are they doing? Are they just awkwardly shuffling around?
They're just kind of standing there, but they also bow at one point.
Take this, so the world will know what it is you have done for
I never thought I'd see the day when Kingdom Hearts has NPCs in it.
Yes?
Holy
Sora,
shit.
sir. Donald.
It's amazing.
Goofy. Yes, sir.
Now I can
Do you reckon
finally die.
when we get to Agrabah, when Aladdin says that the bazaar is bustling, there might actually be some bustle going on.
Yeah, maybe like 2 people.
No, it's going to be filled with glitches that are just awkwardly moving around, imitating life.
NPCs provided by Bethesda.
Yes!
A dozen
Or it's
recolored
always
Aladdins T-posing through the environment.
Let me go back to being a guardian. They gotta.
Or it's just missing me all around for some reason.
You already were a family guardian.
What? Oh, no, don't even worry about that. That's
Where
just
to
real
next?
technical, just for us guardians.
Next, I think we have to go to a Beast's castle.
I just didn't want to bog y'all
The beast.
We team up with a beast, I
No one
think.
gets turned into a heartless like Gaston. It's a wasted opportunity.
Wait, he's not in that?
At the very least, the Kingdom Hearts Chi team did work in a Gaston Heartless.
Should have been in the main series.
I know. They also put in a Lady Tremaine Heartless and an Evil Queen Heartless.
I'm less bothered about those two. They're more manipulative than Gaston.
That's true.
But Gaston's so greedy and just so selfish that him being a Heartless would just be the best in comparison to I'm a bit broody Beast.
Maybe he would make a stronger, Heartless nobody.
You shall be missed.
Yeah.
Because he's got sick biceps, maybe.
Is it okay if we come back to visit?
Of course.
Xemnas just being, or when most people die, they become but a base. When most people become heartless, their bodies become but basic dusks. But Gaston, his biceps are so sick, he would become a totally swole dusk. He would truly be Fitspiration.
Yes.
How is my Xemnas impression? I say to people who haven't had a chance to hear what Xemnas sounds like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably excellent. I don't.
Yeah, probably.
Competent.
We'll never know.
Sorry, I'm thinking competent.
I'm sure. Save.
Save now.
Does this game autosave often, or?
Oh, it never autosaves.
Oh my god, dog! Save!
Please, for the love of God.
Saving is for fools and cats and people who haven't already started a gummy ship.
You know,
Mini game.
it's going to crash at one moment, and Doug is going to get his stream up and say, okay, let's try this again. And we're back at the fucking train.
I have saved since the train, you know.
Doesn't feel like it.
That's because it's so smooth.
I haven't been paying attention, more like.
Nothing in this game is smooth.
Smooth. Smooth like pate.
You saying it like that doesn't work.
Smooth.
I'm gonna have my frown now.
But if the game crashed, the save file would just nope. I'm gonna be back. Sorry. Oh no, not this again.
We shall have to do this so many times.
I think it's weird how uninteresting it all is. It's just the colors are just
Yeah, these shooter sections especially, it's just, I don't even have to pay attention to what's going on, I can just...
I'm sorry, is there like an ancient spacefaring civilization that lived on these goddamn asteroids at one point? Or is this like remnants of the world that was before
Villains for Kingdom Hearts 3 confirmed.
Let's learn about them.
Villains for Kingdom Hearts 3 confirmed. Oh no! We defeated Xehanort in the prologue, but now we have to fight this ancient spacefaring organization.
Of which there are 13. They're all Xehanort again, somehow.
I bet Ericus is going to be one of the 13 Xehanorts. He presumably did leave a nobody behind for Xehanort to stuff his heart into. And that way they could be pals again. Sort of.
It's not friendship, it's masturbation.
Yeah! I was about to say. Sure, you just stuck your card into it? Shoves. What did you shove into me? My heart. Oh, that's what you call it.
I am shocked that nobody's done the "would you have sex with a clone of yourself" meme with just the various Xehanorts. This is getting suspiciously bullet heady.
Oh my god, somebody thinks I'm right. Holy shit.
It's on the Elf Quest forum.
Yeah.
What did you say on the Elf Quest forum?
Inquiring minds want to know.
It's a very long story, but there's a character called Cot, C-H-O-T, and he was very much active in a series called New Blood, which is a spin-off series of ElfQuest, which was made by Barry Blair, who had a very weird interest in young men, boys, and that was very, very noticeable at times. And he died a couple years back. And New Blood is kind of wonky in a lot of ways, but there are some who like it for reasons. And my friend really likes Cod, because she started with New Blood, from what I remember her telling me. And she's been really worried because Wendy has said sometimes some years ago that she hates this character a lot, and she's going to bury him in a landslide. And this woman is bitchy, and she is petty beyond all reason, and she is stupid. So everyone who likes this character is like, oh no, please don't show up in the final comic, and he does, and everybody's just, oh no. And I was just replying to someone, my friend, who said that Wendy might just be afraid that she's using this character incorrectly, and I just told her, no, she's not afraid of that she's doing this. She's just she's angry that this character has some kind of popularity, and it's not really her character.
Oh my god, Wendy Pini, are you Tetsuya Nomura? The other thing I said was she's not afraid of anything. She's just a petty, bitchy woman, and at least one person agrees with me, and I'm not used to that. I'm used to people just ignoring me because I really rant about this series, even on the main forum.
That's bad.
She always does this. Just ignore her. And then some people just, I don't like what you're saying about this series that I love. I'm really passionate about this series. Well, guess what? So am I. I can just see every single flaw in it. Ugh.
Well, that's what it's like being famous, isn't it? Sorry, I just saw I saw this tweet like last week where somebody I follow on Instagram and Twitter is like, I accidentally got liquid lipstick on my jumper, and they tagged in the place they got the jumper from, and the places they got the jumper from just sent them a new one. This woman who has a successful makeup brush line and does professional makeup artistry, she got a free jumper because she complained about it on social media, and I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake, didn't you just dye it like I told you to? It's easier to get stuff for free when you already have money, isn't it? It's one of those great paradoxes of life.
Kingdom Hearts. Come for whatever it is. Stay for economics.
It's the Boots theory. It's Vimes' Boots theory of economics.
Yeah.
A rich man pays more money for his boots, so he gets better quality boots, and they last him for many years, so he only has to buy the one. But a poor man has to buy shit boots because he hasn't got the money. So over time, he has to buy more and more shit boots, thus meaning that he spends more money over the same period that the rich man's boots last than the rich man did on his one pair of decent boots.
No, just when I didn't get new shoes for ages, and my shoes were in such disrepair that I was Asian, got concerned about them.
Yeah, he wouldn't listen to me, but he did listen to a goddamn dog.
Dogs are very wise. They know much about shoes.
Because they eat them.
Yeah. Dogs know exactly how durable shoes are. They have to, so that they can tear them apart.
See, now I want to have a scene in my fic where Jenny is like concerned about Solus' issues in the same way that Alsatian was concerned about yours. Because he's not getting frostbite.
No,
he's got shoes on, but like they're sandals, so you can see his toes, and you're like, just put some fucking proper shoes on. You're gonna get fucking frostbite. They're quality toes. Don't waste them.
There's in one of the upcoming missions for you in your game. Solus wears a hat the entire time, and I couldn't recognize him when I saw him. I was just like, "Who's that guy?" I just, who? Why? Who's that? I guess Solus is here, but I can't see him. Who is this guy? Oh wait, no. Okay. No,
I'm thinking I might put Solus in that really awful bright yellow outfit next time I take him out with Dorian, just so when Dorian's like, "Oh, you're usually so nondescript," since Solus is like, "I'm sorry, I can't hear you over your outfit," he's being really hypocritical because that yellow thing is awful.
Most people actually force him to put him in that to punish him for everything.
Oh yes, I remember the trend of people punishing Solus by putting him in stupid outfits. You can't just throw more and more enemies at me. Shan't allow it. No, I shall allow it because I have to, but... Donald,
wow,
please heal me.
This ballroom looks almost exactly like it does in the movie. That's a sick burn, because it was done in like early 90s CGI in the movie.
Donald, I swear to God, I'm going to replace your entire spell out. Stop following me! Heal me! Donald!
This is how I feel in Dragon Age Inquisition some of the time, you know? What are you
in
doing
Dragon Age Inquisition,
people?
no one has healing magic.
Yeah, but I'm still like, what the fuck, Blackwall? I needed you to hit that guy whilst I went over here and tried to not kill myself.
A boss is going to show up here. That much I remember. Spear guy? Is that lad? No. Is that his name?
Yeah, there's a big dark boss thing that shows. Oh God, I'm not good at this game.
You're doing okay, Doug. Why are they
doing
just standing
passively?
Harsh.
Donald, I beg of you. Oh, you can't heal me.
Oh no!
So why did Mickey Mouse mysterious stranger your ass earlier?
He does that if you die in a boss battle.
Right, so new headcanon, Mickey Mouse is also the real Nick Valentine.
Right, we're going to give Sora some better armor.
So Doug can play longer. This is good. Well.
I'm going to give him some accessories. Hey, Donald, about your abilities, I'm removing Donald Thunder, so all you can do is cure people now. Oh, okay, I can't remove it.
Wah, 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 wah.
It's okay though,
Why
I
can't you
prioritised him curing people. Now he can be a productive member of society.
Oh, is that a pun?
No, no, no.
No, productive.
What breed of dog do we think Goofy is?
Well, he's gonna be one of the floppy-eared ones, right?
Yeah, maybe a basset hound.
No. Those are strictly brown.
He has the ears for it though.
Nah, I don't think so.
Are you sure? I think you might be right.
I'm gonna look basset hounds up and show you that you're wrong.
I mean, I think I'm looking at one.
Oh, actually, you kind of have a point. I was thinking of beagles.
Yeah.
Oh, so you know, I was thinking of Droopy. Droopy's definitely a basset hound.
Is he?
Yeah. He's got the eyes for it.
Yeah, he does,
Oh, I'm looking forward to the next few days because I have to check in on the cat my sister's fostering, and she is such a cute cat. She is the axolotl of despair.
I need you to make a write-up of your dogs and what they do and what they are, because I know Velvator is what is it, eldritch god of some kind, and I want to know what they're a god of.
She is mostly a god of hunger. Such terrible hunger. Such terrible hunger
Again,
the world has never
I
known.
need you to make a write-up.
It might be a bloodhound.
Oh, who, Goofy?
Yeah, because the first short he showed up in was called the Bloodhound.
Oh, yeah, he's probably a bloodhound then.
I'll probably say for Pluto. Somebody says they're both mutts, so I'm like, nah, they don't. To be honest, when I think of mongrels usually have like pointy ears, not ears like this.
Donald, heal me! No, Donald! That's easier.
I saw a
remember
post.
these things.
I saw a post about Sora's Keyblade being longer, and somebody in the comments said, "We're gonna take on what's his name? The white hair guy, Sephiroth."
Yeah.
So many white-haired guys.
Like, yes, I know, but we're gonna take up Sephiroth in that fight, and I'm like, guys, that arena was small. You can't even swing the Keyblade. It's like, no, no.
Sephiroth's sword is ridiculously long as well, so it will just be both of them swinging their weapons and just whacking off the walls.
That's how it should be, yes, but knowing him, he's just gonna go, ah. I tried to fight him. My first fight against him lasted 3 seconds. Really, just 3 seconds. Like, what? Wait, who's that? Thunk! Oh.
It's basically these games' super boss.
How can you manhandle a lady like that, Sora? I only said that because I knew this was going to happen.
It is true that every time Sora gets older, his keyblade gets larger. Interpret that how you will.
That's because he needs to make it. Still needs to look like it's a viable weapon in his hands, despite how big he gets.
Yes.
So are you trying to push her away without her waking up?
Yeah, basically.
Could you not just politely ask her to get the fuck out of the way? Not in those words, of course.
High octane action!
Come for the high octane action, stay for warily pushing wardrobes. Also knitting dialogue. This scarf is many rows.
Honestly, ever since giving Wolfie a scarf, I've been tempted to have that scarf be like a power limiter for him so that he can dramatically sweep it off when a fight gets serious. But if he did, Jason would just be like, why is your power limiter a scarf? What function does that serve? There are so many more convenient ways to suppress your abilities.
You know, one of the things that I understood about Beauty and the Beast is, like, if all of his servants got turned into furniture, was there any furniture in this goddamn place before? Because they seem to be fulfilling all of the furniture roles.
Yeah.
Also, how many goddamn servants did he have? There's gotta be a limit, right?
This must be it.
That's a good question.
I mean, I know running a house this big is going to take quite a few servants, but there's still only one of him. And he didn't seem to have guests all that often, even at Christmas.
Was it only just his servants that got turned into furniture?
I think it was just for servants
It's not
in
like
the
there's
castle.
like a very fancy chair wandering around complaining this is not how you treat a house guest.
Are you seriously going to find a door?
Yeah, okay, you
Sometimes
say that,
doors
but
are
I thought
evil.
many... He's right, sometimes doors are evil. I have fought many doors in my time as a video gamer. I'm specifically thinking of the door in Breath of Fire 2, which you have to fight when you're playing through Sten's part of the plot. And it's basically completely immune to magic. And I'd taken, what's her face with me? They called her Blue in that game, but it's not her name. The sorceress lady from Breath of Fire 4, who shows up in all of the games.
Have you noticed in a lot of games when you have to force doors open with something, usually the doors are alive in some manner, and you have to do really horrible things to it to make it open?
Yeah.
I want Shadows of the Damned, but I'd have to get a PS3.
I have Darksiders, and I remember from that game, the locks on those doors are massive blinking eyes that follow you around.
Oh god, yeah, there's something like that in Arcami. And you have to like cut them open. No, no, you have to find an arrow, which is also a key, and then it stabs them in the eye, in like the pupil, and then it opens the door and their tongues fall open because they're demons. And they die and it looks really painful.
Yeah.
But in Shadows of the Damned, like, you open doors, which are also babies, by shoving it either strawberries into their gobs or human eyeballs and stuff.
I want strawberries! Okay, fine.
That's the Suda 5-1 game, isn't it?
I think so.
I like Suda 5-1, mostly on principle. I started following Swery on Twitter, and Jesus Christ, he's adorable. occurred to me I forgot to put the stream up on Twitter. Oh, it's well too late for that.
Yeah, I don't have a stream up on Tumblr even because I put up 2 stream ads.
It's probably well it's just us here.
No, I've seen other people here. Other people poking their heads in. Someone, in fact, has just arrived.
Oh, nice. So, did you kill the door?
Yeah, I killed the door.
So, were those also servants? Were they turned into Heartless when they were a door?
No, I think that was just a Heartless that was possessing a door.
Yeah, but it's the Beast's castle. How can we really be sure? Oh yeah, you're right. I can see it now. But why does the door look like that? Oh, it's
it
cute.
Looks kind of cute.
Oh, it's dead now.
The Heartless are all adorable.
Why was that cute? You just have to make it cute.
There's nobody here.
The bombs are like that sometimes. You're just like, oh, it's so cute.
Did someone say rescue?
Keep quiet. It might be them.
Oh, they look like
So when I was around my sister's, Alex, her husband, was playing Persona 5, and I was just like, oh yeah, this is totally a Shin Megami Tensei game, and then a fucking pixie showed up, who's like your first party member in Shin Megami Tensei Lucifer's Call.
I love that pixie.
I always kept her around.
I did too.
Even when she evolved, I was just like, I can't get rid of her, we're friends.
She, you can make her so damn overpowered in the late end game.
Yeah, I kind of like her. I think like we're friends, so.
We were overjoyed to see you.
Donald, let go of that clock. Stop that, Donald!
Stop molesting that clock.
Enchantress.
Please get off the wooden chair. Donald!
It was a cold winter's night.
Yeah, this furniture was apparently
Wait a second. Was Lumiere voiced by his actual voice actor from the film in Kingdom Hearts?
Might have been. They've got a lot of the original voice actors back.
Yeah, the problem is the guy who plays Lumiere is the guy who played Lenny Briscoe in Law and Order. That means that they've lost another voice actor.
For God's sake.
Donald! Because he's also died.
They really should try to get like Ian McKellen or Charles Dance or Patrick Stewart or something to replace Leonard Nimoy, if they have to.
Derek Jacobi on the outside.
Yeah. Maybe Jeff Nimoy if he can do a decent impression of his cousin.
There's a Jeff Nimoy?
You watched Digimon, right?
Yeah.
Tentamon, his voice actor is Jeff Nimoy. He's Leonard Nimoy's cousin.
Okay, the thing is though, when you say that Leonard Nimoy has a cousin and his name's Jeff, he's Jeff Nimoy, you sound like you're recounting an Eddie Izzard joke.
It does sound like that. No.
Especially the name.
Yeah, especially the name.
His name is Jeff.
You just... Yeah, that's such an Eddie Izzard. Like, find the Book of Life and write Leonard Nimoy, a cousin called Jeff, into it.
Okay, sounds fake, but okay.
Yeah, that's how they say it sounds fake, but okay.
Completely.
Sounds super fake. I mean, I believe you. I genuinely believe you, but Jesus Christ, this sounds super fake. This isn't even I believe you thousands wouldn't. This is I genuinely actually believe you, but God, this sounds so fake.
Sometimes. I wonder... I mean, I suppose there's a higher chance that Shikayo Otsuka was able to get his lines done for a Japanese release of Kingdom Hearts 3, but if he didn't, I wonder how they're going to replace him as well, because he also died. They lost 100% of their Xehanort actors.
How many Synod actors are there? 13 or more?
There's two, Shikao Otsuka and Leonard Nimoy. And both died in between... Oh gosh, in between Dream Drop Distance and now.
Oh. Maybe that's what's holding them back. They're trying to find voice actors.
I imagine it didn't help.
Okay, so a 7-year-old girl just found a sword in the lake where King Arthur was said to have thrown the legendary Excalibur.
Oh god. Now she has to become king.
See, this is the problem. Her name's Matilda. Now,
that's a fine name for a king.
Yeah, I know. We've had the Empress Matilda before. Hence the problem. How do we title this shit? She Matilda the First, Matilda the Second? Which one?
She'd be the
or
second.
Matilda, I found a sword. Matilda, I found a sword.
Do you know much about the Empress Matilda?
I don't actually.
I have heard nothing.
Okay, now I get to recount one of the tales of England's many civil wars.
Joy!
Right, so during the Crusades, there was a civil war in England about who was going to take the throne. Was it going to be Maud, who married the Holy Roman Empire, Holy Roman Emperor, which is why she's called the Empress Matilda or Empress Maud, or Stephen? See, strictly speaking, she's the legal heir to the throne. But there's two problems with that. One, she's a Womeling, and two, she was very pro-Norman, and Stephen was more, the Saxons are okay, I guess. So most of the Saxon nobles were on the side of Stephen, and most of the very Norman ones were on the side of Matilda. See, there's this one apocryphal tale about her being stuck in this walled town in a siege, and she managed to escape in the middle of a snowstorm by wearing a white cape. Eventually, though, Stephen kind of won, but the terms of the ceasefire were that Matilda's son would be king after him.
That does sound familiar.
What lake did he throw that? No, wait. What lake did she find the sword in?
It's not actually Excalibur. It's just a 30-year-old sword.
I'm sure it is. Is it?
Is a sword that appears to be 30 years old?
Does? No.
I'll write it.
Thank you.
This is actually useful to me, because I had no idea where this sword was apparently thrown. I can use this in my fic.
Ooh. That's very cool. No.
He was... I'm pretty sure Henry II is... Yeah, Henry II was the Empress Matilda's son. He took over from Stephen when he died. Oh, and he's the one who married Eleanor of Aquitaine. And he was the father to Richard the Lionheart. Which is exactly the reason I can't take any fictional character with the surname Lionheart or Leonheart seriously, because I'm like, what, did you only spend 6 months ruling your kingdom? And the rest of your time either pissing off fighting crusades or being imprisoned by a German.
I'd say, looking at you, Emperor Drycles from Trails of Cold Steel, that he apparently did spend most of his reign at war, seemingly with Gundams.
Jesus Christ! Richard I was King of England from 6th of July 1189 until his death. He also ruled as Duke of Normandy, Aquitaine and Gascony, Lord of Cyprus, Count of Poitiers, Anjou, Maine and Nantes, and Overlord of Brittany at various times during the same period. I don't understand why Henry II is called Henry Fitz-Empress.
Was he a bastard?
I think so. But I'm not really sure. Hang on, let me look her up.
Henry Fitz-Empress. Empress bastard. No, it looks like he was just called that because he's the son of the Empress. It's the same designation as used for bastards, but it means something different here.
Okay, I'm very confused, but... Thanks, rich people. You constantly make everything oddly confusing.
Was it used at the same time?
Probably. I suppose what seems likely is that much like how Leonardo da Vinci doesn't have a surname because he's a bastard, he just has a designation. Bastards wouldn't have surnames, they'd have the designation fits their parent. So Fitz just means son of, and it's generally used to refer to bastards because they wouldn't have inherited a surname.
What if you're a bastard and a girl?
Well, I mean, that's not so much a problem if you're in Renaissance
Italy. Just be married
Italy.
off. Anyway.
Yeah,
You'll get a surname one way or the other.
Wait. What's going on with Cogsworth? Why is his grip strength going down?
Maybe he's holding something?
He's holding... He is holding a thing.
Maybe a gate?
I think it's glorified time limit.
Oh, we have to help him recover his energy. It's time to masturbate a clock.
What has this game turned into?
What it was always meant to be.
See, if I was designing a video game, if I was like the head of a video game, like the, what's the word I'm looking for, director of a video game, and I really hated the animators, I demand that they lovingly animate somebody knitting. But I wouldn't do it to challenge them, I'd do it because I hate them.
Make sure that they actually knit the scarf, and next time you visit them, it's longer, and the next time it's even longer.
Yeah,
And 12 hours later, 12 hours later,
I'd make them. I'd make them have to like. The more I hated them, the more complicated the stitch would be. Like, if I was just kind of vaguely annoyed at them, it would just be like garter stitch. But like, if I was really annoyed at them, I'd have them do stocking stitch. So when the person was finished with the row and they turned around, they'd have to animate a different stitch on the other side. And if I was really fucking annoyed at them, I'd make them do ribbing or moss stitch, where they have to have the character move the wool from the back of the needle to the front of the needle. Every single stitch.
Doug, what just happened there?
I don't know. It doesn't seem to be...
Are you pushing the right button?
I am. I think I have to wait for Mrs. Potts to get there.
I think I was really, really mad at them.
Can you
I
hit
do one of
her
the
along?
ones where you have to slip stitches and knit two together.
Oh my god, just carry the thing!
Yeah, you have a spare hand. Just pick her up by the handle. That's what it's for.
Kick her!
Okay, I think like there's two kinds of people.
Oh my god, no!
Here at Square Enix, we are designing high-octane action games but never let up. Experience the excitement of waiting for a teapot to catch up with you instead of just picking her up with your hand, Sora! You don't even have to hold the
need
keyblade.
tea anyway?
Don't know.
What precisely is he's holding a lever? A lever for what?
I had to hold down these lanterns.
Oh, okay.
Shouldn't it just be like a pulley when you just like winch them down and then you winch them back up again?
I feel like there's game padding and then there's this.
It's not so much padding a game as it is stuffing it.
Yeah. We need 4 more hours of gameplay. What do we do? Ice cream minigame? Can't keep doing that.
I think Dewey, Huey, and Louie have just had too much ice cream. If you know what I mean.
They're full to bursting.
Completely. They're exhausted.
The ice cream is leaking from the corner of their face. I will not be defeated.
Note to self, don't drink on this subject. Oh god. Want to go for some ice cream? No!
You'll never eat ice cream again.
No!
Let's put some more potions in place, because God knows Donald isn't going to heal us. Unless he absolutely has to.
It's very aggressive stuff, isn't it?
Question, those suits of armor, are they armors or are they servants?
I think they're servants. Because Cogsworth tells them to let the guests through, and they seem to be alive and not heartless, so I guess they must be servants? Got turned into armors?
Where is all the normal furniture?
Well, there was a table in the dungeon. That didn't seem to be a person.
Like,
maybe
did they just move all of the actual furniture down to like the basement or some shit when they all got turned into it and decided to just live their new roles? Because I'd like to point out that Chip doesn't sleep in a bed; he sleeps in a cupboard.
Maybe they just took their places.
Well, like all of the furniture got like moved, like disappeared when they got turned into it, and then like it went back when they were done.
Maybe.
That seems a little bit excessive for an enchantress.
It seems a little bit excessive for an enchantress to get so damn mad that she turns people into furniture. But yeah.
I like how I really don't understand why the Enchantress didn't show up as a villain in this game, because Jesus fucking Christ, what she did was completely unnecessary.
But she doesn't show up in the movie either, does she?
No.
She's referenced. We know what she looks like.
Yeah.
Feed your anger.
We know what she did. So there'd be a lot of leeway for them to do all kinds of crazy shit with her.
There's only one thing I want.
What? To love and be loved in return. Who could ever love a beast?
Enchantress. Let's see.
See? She has accomplices.
Hey, Prince.
That is weird.
Oh dear, Master.
I feel like Disney's trying to present her as a good guy, which is odd after what she did.
Yeah.
She turned a child into a whatever the fuck this is supposed to be, and then turned other children into cups, and they never got to grow up. And never would if he couldn't get somebody to fall in love with him.
Maybe.
Which he purposefully made difficult.
Maybe it's because the prince is well, kind of sort of bad guy.
That's not the point. He was like 14 years old.
He was?
Yeah,
he was
he's
a child
pretty young.
when she did this to him.
I thought he was a grown man.
No, child.
Ah.
They, in one of the sequel things they did, they confirmed he was a child. See, the thing is, this curse was supposed to be over when he was like 21. So, and he's been like this for a while. So, at best, he's been like this, what, 3 years? That's the best case scenario here. But in reality, it's got to be more than that.
That's interesting. Weird.
If I'm right and she did this to him when he was about 14 years old, then he spent a third of his life like this. It's inhuman. Just because somebody sassed you, because you went to the wrong door. Because this is the thing that she showed up as a homeless old lady who went to the front door of a castle. No actual homeless old lady looking for help in the middle of winter would go to a castle's front goddamn door.
I can't believe that the
set him up
Enchantress
to
was Taylor
fail.
Swift all along.
She has a very interesting character design. It's very not evil, queenish.
That's because she's not meant to be evil. I love characters like this. I love characters who are presented as good guys, but have been written so badly that they have to be villainous. And then what I would really love is if those characters are then, like, expanded upon as villains. So you see all these people go, oh no, they're not really evil. And you're like, oh no, they really are, though, aren't they? And they have to figure it out. Like, this is what I want from that Needless Frozen sequel. I want somebody to actually hold Elsa to account for what she did. And say, I'm sorry, but I'm sorry isn't good enough. People died.
Well, Master, you see, that is, how should I say? Actually,
It's really weird that Disney hasn't done anything with her. It's just weird.
Yeah.
I did what?
Yeah, you did.
She's more of a plot device than a character, but
Who was that guy you were talking to?
still, she would probably wouldn't the first things I jumped on for Kingdom Hearts 2. I would have maybe I would have kept the Nobody's idea if it had been like suggested to me.
My anger to control me. He took all my sorrow,
Sorry, somebody just posted about that little girl who found the sword, and I kind of would love it. Yeah, but we're Angles, not Celts. She's not our queen. It's not how this works.
That must be why you threw all of your friends down there into the dungeon. You wanted to make sure that you didn't hurt them,
Where was I?
right?
Was that it?
Yeah, maybe I would have kept the Nobodies idea, but I would have had her be the leader of the Nobodies in the same way that Maleficent was the leader of the Heartless.
Master, we've all seen how kind you can be.
Yeah, I could go for that.
Beryl can see the
I think it
goodness
would create a
in your
counterpoint
heart,
between like the two, because it's the Heartless are obviously evil with their dark colouring and everything, and Maleficent's obviously evil for all she is beautiful. But the Enchantress pretends to be good.
She didn't say anything about
She sets
that.
people up to fail on purpose, but she pretends to be good. And that would be perfect as a counterpoint for Maleficent, who owns her evilness, to have this other villain who is pretending to be good. Especially if you had everyone else fall for it. And suddenly Sora is trying to like convince everyone that no, the person you think is good isn't good. She's bad. I might actually do some fan art of what could have been at some point.
I still think that all of the named nobodies in Organisation 13, apart from maybe Xemnas and Roxas, should have been Final Fantasy characters.
No, I agree totally. I don't understand why there aren't more Final Fantasy characters in this series.
Yeah, they should be.
Who's crinkling?
Me.
What are you
Yes.
eating?
Kit Kat.
Sorry?
Kit Kat.
You're eating a het cat. Why are you eating a very groovy person from the 30s?
Kit Kat.
Cat.
Kit Kat sponsor Kingdom Hearts. Kit Kat.
I thought that
Have
was.
a break.
I thought that's.
Have a Kit Kat.
I thought that's Travis Monks who sponsored Kingdom Hearts.
Travis
What did we
Monk
change
sponsor
sponsorship?
Kit Kats. Kit Kats. Have a break. Go into a life of within a monastic order.
Kit Kat, sponsored by Muppet. The most annoying Undertale boss ever.
Good work on that. Extremely the spider got through it, everybody. That's some prime comedy.
I kind of wanted to add that the sign dog has is written in Comic Sans.
God, now I'm just reminded of when somebody was like, your handwriting looks like a spider stepped in ink. Like, if only they were here now so I could be like, yes it does.
The truth. It comes out. It was so obvious.
This explains all the pincer hugs. Because he has pincers.
I do give you a lot of pincer hugs, so I'm my preferred form of hug.
Except when you're drunk.
How many eyes does he have?
4. Bubum. Because he wears glasses. Did you get it?
I can't believe that in this, the year of 2017 of our Lord, you have made a glasses joke.
I also need glasses.
Me too.
Yay! We all have shitty eyes.
Oh right, we're meant to go to Belle's room. I swear, this world involves a lot of running back and forth.
this room again.
Yeah, this corridor. We will never escape this corridor.
Oh god, that's how I felt in 358 over 2 days. Yeah, flashbacks. That bloody boss! Fucking train or some shit, it's so stupid.
I have a question for the boss in Birth by Sleep, the mirror.
Oh yeah.
Why the fuck was he smiling at some point?
It's so that you can tell which one is the real mirror and which ones are the illusions.
I think the idea is he's like, I've got one over on you. Oh shit, you hit me with a keyblade.
Okay. Because I've never seen him do anything else than just look really, what's the word I'm looking for?
I think it's meant to be like, yes, smug is how he's supposed to be. He's got a terrible poker face.
Yeah.
He looks serene, really, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah.
I kind of want to say he looks like the drowned lady up that river in France, but no. The Death Mask, at least.
You know, he probably was modelled after death masks.
Yeah, there's one of the famous death mask is the lady of is the face of a lady who drowned, and they never found out who she was. And her face is used on dummies for CPR, I think. She's known as the most kissed face in the world, or something. I'm not sure.
So wait, they use as CPR dummy. They use the face of a woman who actually drowned. That's oddly poetic.
It is. Yeah, here she is. Yeah.
I'm all right.
I'm going to give you a link. There is a picture of the Death Mask, but it's not that bad.
I've seen death masks before.
Okay.
Oh god, she does look familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that face. I've missed that face.
Oh, is somebody interesting coming?
The death mask I'm most familiar with is. Let's see if I can find it.
No, it's just still them. Wait, did they put in an extra boss?
No, this was in the game before.
Yeah. Now I remember.
Sure, he had one. I thought Guy Fawkes had a death mask, but he might not have. Trying to see Oliver Cromwell's?
Sure. Wait. That was the guy who just made England completely unhappy, wasn't it?
Yeah,
He outlawed him. Yeah.
We don't know where his court. We don't know where his head is right now. I'm not joking. We don't know. We don't know where it is. Somebody took it. Yeah, it was put on a spike, and then somebody got it off the spike, and then they buried it. And like, I think only like 2 people in one college in like Cambridge or Oxford know where it is, and the rest of us aren't allowed to know because we'll probably dig it up and do something to it. I would. I'd dig it up and put it on a fucking bike where it belongs.
See why? I remember reading about the whole England must be very, very, very not happy, and it went on for years.
As far as reason we'll probably never have a president is because during that point we did have presidents, but they only lasted like a month each, and this only went on for like 8 months before he was like, fuck it, I'll just become Lord Protector. And that whole war is why that's one of England's other many civil wars. It's why the Speaker of the House of Commons, when they're elected, they traditionally pretend they don't want to do the job because Charles the First killed the Speaker of the House for not handing over some MPs. It was essentially a bad time all round.
Well, except for Cromwell. He was having fun.
In your Inquisition thing, when you have to ask people if they are okay, do you write okay or all right, or what do you use?
Jenny uses okay, but the rest of them use all right. They're only Varric. The dwarves might use okay, because they're more American.
You shouldn't say that. This is going to make me unlike them.
Nah, they're cool. They're fun Americans. They're all the joy of American accents, but none of the problems of actual Americans.
Is it the 2-letter okay or the, what is 4?
I always write it out.
So 4.
Yeah, I'd say always go with 4.
Okay. What just happened on the screen?
I'll probably just have Jenny use, and everybody else will be like, "All right then." And even Jenny's gonna swap because English people do that shit all the time.
Doug, are you okay? You're getting smacked around a lot.
Yeah.
Story of his life. Story of his life.
Damn it!
You know, I was thinking of actually having a bit where Jenny does the Astrarium in Mornin's Outlook, and she's like, "Oh, the oak, I like the oak," and Varric's like, "Oh, why do you like the oak?" And she's like, "It's a good sturdy tree, capable of holding a king for many hours in a day." Because this also relates back to the Civil War. We have this tree called the Royal Oak. If this isn't the one that's alive now, isn't the original Royal Oak, but I think it was hit by lightning. And this is a descendant of the Royal Oak. There's in the nearby house, there's like a box or something that's made from the wood of the original Royal Oak. And we call it that because Charles II, during the Civil War, hid in that tree for several hours every day whilst the Roundheads were looking for him. It's a true story. I was planning an Assassin's Creed game at one point, like, just, you know, for fun, where it was all about the English Civil War. And it was going to have, like, the assassin in the tree with King Charles II.
Hello,
it would have been really cool. It would have been a great tense moment when they're both sitting in a fucking oak tree waiting for Roundheads to go past the leaf.
Oh, gosh. Not my mic there.
Oh, of course, I would have a female assassin, so he'd bone her because he's Charles II and he does what he goddamn likes. And who as well.
Have you ever heard about the man who got shot by a tree?
What does he
No, I haven't.
There was this guy who was unfaithful to his girlfriend or wife, and she came from a family who were not very sound of mind. So she killed herself, and her brother took it upon himself to get revenge on avenge his sister. So he showed up when the man was out in his garden, standing in front of a tree, and shot him. Problem is, he missed and hit the tree instead, and he just, well, okay, and he shot himself. A couple of years later, the guy wanted the tree gone, so he decided to blow it up.
Oh god.
Yeah. the bullet
I know you weren't yourself.
came alive again and hit him in the head.
But I had hoped.
For some reason, this reminds me of that one very famous scene from Harvester, the video game, where this guy's like, the one where he's just like, I'm gonna call this death by natural causes. Natural causes? You can't live without a spinal column, son.
That just reminds me of the legal precedent of the man, I think from the UK, who murdered himself. Not committed suicide. Basically what happened is he leapt out a window intending to commit suicide. So it was originally ruled as a suicide. Then it was discovered that he had gunshot wounds from a shotgun. And that he had been shot while falling, and this had been what killed him. So they found that the gun had been fired from one of the flats below him, below where he jumped.
I've heard the story. I think it's apocryphal.
Might be. By an old man who was waving his gun at his wife.
What?
Then it was revealed that the old man didn't know that the gun was loaded. His son had actually put bullets in the gun, knowing that the old man had a tendency to wave his gun around during arguments, and knowing that he'd fire it, thinking it wasn't loaded.
Quick side note, this is why you should always treat a gun like it's loaded. Just in case
And then they discovered that the man's son, the one who had put the bullets in the gun in order to kill the old woman, was actually the man who had jumped out the window and been shot with the gun fired by the old man, meaning that he was responsible for his own murder. But since the intent had been murder, not suicide, it was murder.
Because if you intend to murder Jack, but you accidentally killed Jill instead, that still counts as murder.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute.
Oh, that kind of reminds me of another story I heard. It was in a church over in America, of course.
Yeah, because we have churches nowhere else.
I don't believe it would happen in England ever, but they were having a ceremony, and suddenly there's gunshots, and a lady keels over dead, and the police show up, and they very quickly figure out who's done it, and it's an old man, and he's in tears. He's completely demoralized by what he's done. And they interview him, and when they finally get him to become reasonable or the like, he just starts apologizing. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shoot her. I was aiming for my wife.
Stumble across this in the Zero District.
And it was just so blunt, but like, why did you do it there?
Whose storybook?
See, that also sounds kind of apocryphal, but at the same time sounds far more likely.
I know!
And when I did, I was attacked by the Heartless. Of course, I fought back.
Okay, what is the point of the Winnie the Pooh shit? I don't get it.
I have no idea.
Oh god, I remember that from the first game. That level annoyed me too. I found Eeyore's tail before I should have, but I couldn't get to it. It was like, why?
Yeah.
Oh, is Winnie the Pooh yet another character by a British writer that everybody involved in Kingdom Hearts pretends that Disney came up with?
Sure it is.
Yeah, basically.
Just like they did to Alice in Wonderland, and more importantly, and most disgustingly of all, Peter Pan.
On which note, we've been streaming for 3 hours or so now. It's a good point to end it, having done 2 worlds. So we'll leave it there.
We started at 7 and it's nearly 11.
Yeah,
like
but we
4
started
hours.
this stream at 7:50.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because of all the problems we had.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do for the rest of the night?
I'm probably gonna keep knitting this scarf.
I might play some Yakuza 0. I might not. And if I do, I'll put it up on Twitch.
Oh, please do. I love our chats.
Yeah, I might well do that then.
It's so much fun. We should do this like all the time.
I can try and stream Alien Isolation, so we can keep chatting. Then you can listen to me screaming.
Okay, that would be great and all, but like, I don't want to do that tonight.
Okay.
Because I feel bad when I stream for really, really long amounts of time because of my mum.
Fair enough. Okay then, I'll load up Yakuza 0.
Okay, quick question before we all go. Should I fill my pen up with Cult Pen's Deep Dark Purple, which is a Ron Seal colour, Cult Pen, Diamine Amazing Amethyst, which actually also made Deep Dark Purple, or Chez Urbain's Rouge Corbière?
The last one.
Okay, so it's split.
Yeah. Half and half, fed up with both.
I'm not gonna do that. Who's got a coin?
I'm King Solomon
I
of the
can't
Wise.
trust either of you because this is a bit of a make it pink, make it blue moment.
Make it orange.
While you're doing that, I'll just announce to anyone watching this or watching this later, we've got a Dragon Age Inquisition stream coming up tomorrow on Reese's channel, and Alien Isolation, I believe, coming up either the day after tomorrow or tomorrow, possibly, depending on how we feel, I suppose.
Heads Rouge Corbière, tails Deep Dark Purple. And it's Rouge Corbière!
Okay, well, that's a good place to leave it then.
Okay, are we going to do the two Ronnies bit right this time?
It's good night from her.
Yeah. It's good night from me. Good night. There's only so
I
many
did it
ways
right
you can
that
get
time.
this wrong. No, you didn't.
I'm sorry, I'm somewhere in a hurry to end this because we spent the last 9 minutes talking about pen ink. This is our landmark.
You're exaggerating. Just end the stream. I'm tired of this.
See you all.